Hello, everyone out there in TV land. Welcome back to the Dimension 119. See, I was really worried I was going to say my channel's name, but obviously I am not your host, Nathan. I am a stranger, so you've been warned. No, my name is Jeremy. I have a YouTube channel called the Erasmus Expeditions. Sometimes I hang out with several of these people in various different circles, but typically over on my YouTube channel, I run a lot of live plays, whether it be campaigns or one-shots or what have you. I also host a virtual video podcast. That's the word I'm looking for. Video podcast called The Help Action, where I have a guest on and we talk about different role-playing game topics and things of that nature. If you are so inclined, please head over to the Erasmus Expeditions on YouTube and check it out. I would much appreciate it. But tonight, we are going to be running a one-shot. This is in a setting of mine called Caldera, which is a fantasy western. Tonight's game is going to be called A Shallow Grave. The Caldera one-shots are typically called scattershots. So I'm very, very excited to be able to have the opportunity to run a game here on Nathan's channel. He was kind enough to agree to let me do so. So thank you, Nathan. But I'm going to do the same thing that I do at the beginning of all of my games, and that is, if foul language and mature subject matter are problems for you, then do not watch this game. Seriously. But if those things don't bother you, then come on in. I'm going to pass things over to the players so that they can introduce themselves if they feel like it, tell us who they might be playing, tell you where you might be able to find them on the internet if they so wish, and what they might have going on, and then I think we're going to get started. So let's start things off with the hostess with the mostest, Nathan.
All right. First, I need to say that I was just honored that you asked to run a game, not only for this group who is just possibly on the low end of the sanity level. Our Curse of Strahd game has been absolutely referred to as Monty Python does Curse of Strahd. So yeah, when you asked to run a game for this group, I was like, are you sure you're watching the right channel? But yeah, I'm super honored that you even wanted to run a game for us, much less on my channel. Like, I can die happy now. Dreams come true.
Hey, man.
I am playing Samuel DeCrow, former quote unquote lawman. Didn't like how a certain case was handled and needed to get out of the law business. Now he's kind of a traveling ranch hand or cowpuncher and makes right the wrongs that he sees on the road.
Getting compared to Monty Python is pretty high praise where I'm from, so I'd say that that's not too bad. But yeah, man, I'm really, really glad to have the opportunity, so thank you for agreeing. All right, let's move right along to, I think, the only other person here that I've managed to play with already, Kevin.
I was going to need to echo what Nathan has said. Don't want to hold up everything too much, but it's a pleasure again to have you running a game for me, or be a part of one of your games. I've been watching your playlist of the Caldera campaign you ran for your group way back. Been looking, that was 6 years ago. Had lots of fun watching it, so I'm really excited to jump into this setting. When we were given the opportunity to have a game ran by you, I think this was the one that I even suggested to the group. So it's really good to be involved. I am playing Sebastian Four-Draw Jaeger. He is a human Gloomstalker Ranger. He came out west to be an agent for certain officials. Not an official agent, just a gun for hire that could get things done. But jaded, maybe now realizing that he's just been a tool. He wanted to do more. And so he hooked up with someone that he has worked with previously, Samuel DeCrow. and has been led by Samuel's more higher moral standing recently, and that's where we were starting.
Hell yeah, man. Like I said, very excited to be able to get the chance to game with you again. So looking forward to it, man. Okay. Next, all the freshmen, at least for me. Next up is Ray.
Yeah, I've never gamed with Jeremy besides Among Us, which I don't think counts, but I am very excited to be here. I am Ray. You can find me at Twitter at Ricochet Ray Ray, where I do drawings and stuff. Hopefully coming to Twitch soon as a VTuber. Just got to get some kinks figured out there. And I will be playing Mavis de Bellevire. She is a half-elf bard, College of Spirits, and she's pretty much on the spooky side. She is very not afraid to speak her mind, especially when that means insulting her buddy, Santiago Crow. And yeah, I'm gonna be mean, so I'm sorry, guys. It'll just be like me out of character. It's just me out of character.
It's literally Ray. That's all it is.
It's literally
Orden's
me.
Nice. Ray's not.
That's the thing.
It's Ray in Discord.
It's me in Discord, essentially, yes. So you guys have had Orden being sweet and pleasant, so now you've got not that.
Well, I've seen all of you play together, so yeah. I know a lie when I see one.
So
but
I'm
no, it's
sorry,
fine.
brother. I'm sorry.
No, it's fantastic. I'm glad.
It.
You guys have a lot of good group chemistry, so I'm very eager to see what you're gonna do with Caldera. It should be fun.
We're just like a group of like 5 brothers, essentially.
Everybody,
idiots,
whenever they
Yeah.
play D&D, becomes like a 13, 14-year-old boy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, pretty
Oh, yeah.
much. It's just kind of part and parcel for the game. Yeah, I'm eager to have a chance to run a game for you. So I'm looking forward to. You gave a lot of really great stuff with the characters, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out. All right,
Hey, Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
The Twitch chat is saying you're just a little bit quiet. I don't know if you can crank your volume just a tad. You sound
How
fine
is that?
or to me anyways, but the Twitch chat's saying you're a little quiet.
All right. I will see what I can do about that. Okay. While I look into that, next up is Derek as he takes a bite.
Thank you. Yes, you all know me as the awful DM up from Curse of Strahd, but I am playing Clyde Hops Turner. I am a Heron Gun rogue who is an arcane trickster. I am was formerly in a still getting over COVID. I was formerly in a gang that went wrong on my side. I was accused of, or I was set up for a murder I did not commit. That was committed by one of my fellow gang members who I trusted as a brother. I have just recently gotten out of prison, and I realized that there's nobody you can trust better than yourself. So I'm just out on the road as my own rabbit.
Lone Rabbit. No, I always love running games for people who are typically GMs. It's always fun to see them on the other side of the screen. So eager to see what you bring to the Haragon.
You think I prepare as a GM? Wait until you prepare as a player.
You can't even prepare that sentence.
And that's the point.
All right, last but most certainly not least, somebody I've had a little bit of more interaction with. I got the chance to appear on your podcast, which was really fun. But last but not least is Nate.
Hey, everyone. My name is Nate. I am playing the... I guess you may know me also from the Curse of Strahd stream and other little adventures on the Dimension 119 channel. I also have a podcast that is constantly a work in progress called Viva La Vega. And as with Ray here, I also am working on the streaming adventure, which is also under construction constantly. But I am playing Santiago Crow. He is a bird folk, or no, sorry, buzzard folk, or buzzard. What's the race?
Aarakocra.
He's a beaky broad.
Okay. He is an Aarakocra, and he was once a Durathian, right? Kind of tribal person who has taken a life now among the civilized world. So he's kind of left his tribal state and was adopted by a priest of the Castilian faith. And he has made it a holy mission of his to help out Miss Mavis here with her emotional issues, with her missing half a soul, and whatever stuff's going on there. So we're gonna try to figure that situation out and have a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I like how missing half your soul translates into emotional issues. You know,
So many.
I'm pretty
That's
sure I knew
another
some
thing.
people like that in college.
Pushes
It's
all
fine.
the emotions down.
Is Mavis half ginger?
No, she is not. That's another thing I forgot to mention, that I don't have half a soul. That might have been important to say.
Ah,
Nah.
That's
You prepare
how
better than
Santiago
Mavis.
sees it.
yeah, I think that's all of the business that I have. Hopefully the mic issue is better. Let me know if it's not, and I will try to do some more. But other than that, I think we're ready. Everybody ready?
Is.
Here we go. Winter paints a serenely sullen picture along the northern ridge of the Caldera. In the county of Camden's Break, the lines of mountain peaks can make travel difficult, as the snow often fills the passes faster than a quick-draw's hand can find their trigger. A blanket of new fallen snow covers the forest of spruces and firs as we set eyes on a small band trudging through the knee-deep powder, making their way from fabled Fork to the town of Maven's Bluff. As we find the 5 of you just in sight of the town of Maven's Bluff, who do we see? And what is the conversation between you currently like?
Samuel, why is it that you always wish to pick up strays on the trail?
Yeah, you got to give them some good learning, Pilgrim. That's what they need.
I know, but still, the broad don't. That Mavis just don't stop mouthing off.
The broad can hear you.
Look, she don't sit right with me neither, but she does need some help. She's wandering around with a bird, as it is. I can't hear Kevin anymore.
I thought that was me that just couldn't hear him.
Technical issues. That's a staple to this game.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
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 Good.
Okay.
He's a Aarakocra. Big parts of the giraffe around here.
Yeah, you keep calling him that. I'll keep calling him a bird.
You gotta respect traditions, you know. They're a part of the land. Way before
Look.
we move west.
Look, we keep having this same conversation. I can't say that word for the life of me. So he's going to have to be a bird so I don't have to call him something worse. All right? We're just going to have to compromise here.
Has he tried to turn you yet? For some reason he's a Luzite follower.
I don't know. Has he?
He's probably mentioned, probably like in passing, just kind of like dropping subtle hints, maybe to give a sermon if everyone is would allow him to, but he wouldn't push the issue. He's more focused on saving Maven's soul.
I think everybody needs a little religion in their life. I think it's up to you to find which one's best for you. And I'm not saying his is best for me. Just saying might do you some good.
You're muted.
Muted again. Nope. Still bad. It's popping a little bit whenever you're unmuting and muting, so I don't know if that has something to do with it.
Welcome to Dimension 119.
Dude.
Where anything can
names.
happen.
I'm
there you go.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Perhaps where is our patron anyway?
Ain't we going to this town?
Oh no, I did it again.
Lost you again.
Oh no. Oh,
Every time Kevin goes to speak, it's like nothing comes out.
I can hear it real quiet, like almost like it's in a different room.
Yeah.
Was this a short in the wire or something? It's one of those British microphones.
Gotta get them Korean microphones. That's good.
How do I sound now?
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Ooh.
Let's see if that works, eh? Hey, y'all.
There you go. Now you're
Howdy.
Western.
Where is our
Boy.
patron anyway? Skippy.
I think he's eating something currently. Probably a carrot. I mean, let's be honest.
He's always eating that one.
Now it's your turn, Derek. You're muted.
No, he's muted.
I went to unmute. I was already unmuted.
Yeah, you were eating very loudly.
You could have said something.
I didn't hear him.
But Clyde is generally off on the outskirts of the party as he doesn't trust any one of them. He has been betrayed by those he has been close to before, so he's very cautious on trusting any outsider. So he would probably be 10 to 20 feet just behind, just following them intently.
Do any of you have a horse?
I do.
Okay.
I do as well.
Mavis and Sam.
I bought a donkey. No,
Oh,
I bought a
perfect.
horse and a cart. A horse and a
Okay.
cart.
I would have to be running behind them because I haven't stolen one yet.
Maybe you're riding in the back of the cart if you can stand being that close to the Santiago, to the Aarakocra.
Yeah, Santiago.
Birds are natural enemies. Birds are just natural enemies, so I don't know about that.
Yeah. Santiago is doing everything in his power to fight the Urs to just like, just give him a good good chomp, but he's holding it together. It's a
There have
battle
been-
of temptation.
There have been definitely a couple discussions between me and Santiago. Probably, you touch me, you're dead.
Well, I prefer my food a little more on the dead side anyway. You're
Very
a little too
dead.
fresh for me.
We'll keep it that way.
All right. So those of you who are on horseback or who are on wagon back, you have the benefit of being kind of raised up out of this knee deep snow that has kind of settled over the northern ridge area here. Those of you who are not mounted in some fashion, you're having a little bit harder of a time. There's definitely a lot of high stepping, or if you are a small Harangon hops, then you may be having to earn your nickname.
I'm medium.
Okay. Then yeah, you likewise are just kind of having to kind of like pick your feet up real big and bring them down. So it's definitely made the last several miles of this trek very tiring. This kind of constant having to lift your leg up and out of the snow and then push it back down through it. But having now spotted the town of Maven's Bluff kind of ahead of you, you realize that respite is just ahead. But I would like all of you to please make perception rolls.
Uh, 11.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
You got a 12.
13.
18 also.
Okay. So it is Bastion and Clyde. The two of you happen to notice not anything that's out of the ordinary that you see or hear, but actually the lack of anything that you hear. You realize that kind of as you've been making your way kind of down the slope towards the town, that you don't hear any of the normal din that should be probably reaching your ears by now.
Whoa. Pull on the reins, dig my heels in, pull up the horse. Sit up in the saddle using the stirrups, pinching my knees together. Looking down, up over my horse's head, seeing no smoke rising, hearing no sound, no traffic anywhere. I'll just look back over my shoulder. Whoa there. It's
Do
quiet.
you hear something?
No, that's the problem. It's quiet. Too
What,
quiet.
what time is it?
It's probably mid-afternoon, so 2 or 3 o'clock equivalent.
I am going to reach for my crossbow. See anything?
Is it Sam's gonna look over to Mavis. Is it always your custom to pull a weapon before you enter a town there, Pilgrim?
If then there's no sound, then it might be. Is
Well,
it
I mean,
your tradition to always be the stupid?
Pretty much.
And I would look over. Muted. And I would look over
Nope.
and whisper, "Yeah, you gotta be careful with this one. He might put you away for something you didn't do."
well, now hold on now. Miss Mavis she's just being cautious. There's no sense of getting all fussy over it.
Skippy, that was not his call.
Sounds like your mic switched back. I can hear you.
That one
It's,
was very quiet.
Skippy, that was not his fault.
Yeah, I know he was just doing his job, but still had a choice.
Look, this ain't getting us nowhere. But whatever's going on down there, it ain't good. I ain't never been here, but I know these towns ain't exactly quiet.
Well, they could
Well,
just
it's-
be having a good prayer session, and there ain't nothing too wrong with that.
Jeremy, do we see a church in town?
Yes, definitely. Kind of on the end of the main drag, you can kind of see, the steeple that sticks up out above the rest of the buildings, with the bell kind of in the tower.
Now, Santiago, I know it's your tradition to be acting all stupid, but try to think for a minute. You think every single person in this whole town is praying, and that's why it's so quiet.
Well, no. See, when sometimes when people pray, they don't really pray. They just kind of bow their head and they don't really talk to the good Lord. But I don't. That's reasonable, isn't it? You don't
Every
always have
single
to pray.
person?
Why not?
This whole town's a cult.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised knowing who we're probably going to find here. And I'll give
Well,
Santiago kind of knowing look.
Miss Mavis, if you went to church every once in a while, then maybe you'd understand how good it is to feel that sense. Let's all go. Come on. I'm sure they're all there.
Now, I know I criticized Mavis for pulling a weapon, but we shouldn't just go all flying in there half crowed, if you know what I mean.
No, I'm a buzzard, not a crow.
Ain't it your name, though?
Oh,
Let's
well, I guess
mosey.
it is.
Ain't you
Well,
a crow
that's a
too?
good one.
Take it slow.
No relation. And Santiago would lead forward, and he'd be kind of doing that kind of wobble walk that vultures do through the snow. He wouldn't be he wouldn't be on a horse.
Are you leaving your wagon outside of town?
No, I assume he offered the horse up to Miss Mavis and the cart
Got
up
a horse,
to
bro.
Tom. Oh, well then whoever wants the horse, he's probably leading him then if that's the case.
You just wanted to do the walk. We get it.
Yeah, I think Sam just
It's a
kind
nice
of
mosey.
I think Sam just kind of, spurs the horse a bit and just gets a slow walk, and he's keeping his eyes on a swivel. He's checking as they're going towards town.
Pops, how sure of you of this tip you had?
Can never be 100% sure, but this is the last known location of that bastard who betrayed me.
And as for me, I got tips from the spirits, so I think they're right and trustful.
Tips you got.
As we're walking into town, are there you said there's no signs of life in the town, but are there any tracks or anything of recent that would say there was some kind of movement lately?
So it wouldn't be abnormal from where you were to not see any tracks because of the freshly fallen snow. It looks like it probably fell over the last day or night. So as you start getting closer to town, however, you start realizing that you don't see any other tracks. And even with the freshly fallen snow, this close to town, that would probably strike you as a little unusual.
Yeah, I would speak up to the party. There's no signs of tracks anywhere. Not over to Santiago. Does that not strike you as odd? There's no tracks leading to or from any of these buildings up leading to the church. You think everybody is just in their homes today, not doing anything?
that he would stop and he'd look at you and he'd think about it. You know, well, I must admit that. Okay, all right, that does seem a little strange. Oh, okay. How do you suggest we proceed?
Let's find somewhere to hitch these horses.
Hey, Jeremy, while we're doing that, can I just kind of reach out and see if there's anything spiritually going wrong here or maybe arcanely strange?
Yeah. Is there a particular feature that you might be tapping into to do that?
I'm not a feature. I was just going to use my arcana to see if I could, like, sense anything
okay.
weird.
Okay. Yeah, please do.
That is a 16.
Okay. What does it look like as Mavis kind of reaches out this way? Is there a visual that accompanies it, or is there like a certain kind of behavior that she exhibits?
Yeah, she kind of just slurps forward like she is a marionette with the strings cut, and her eyes go black as she kind of just mutters to the spirits and sees if they know anything about what's happening here.
Can I just say,
So
Sebastian looks at Samuel at this point, at the muttering, and just kind of looks over his shoulder at her, and then looks back at Samuel.
Cult leader.
Mavis,
Everybody needs a little religion. And he just shrugs at Sebastian.
as you
And
reach out with that part of yourself, Mavis, you feel almost like you're standing on the edge of a cliff, like on a precipice, looking out into an abyss, just this endless empty well of blackness. It's very unsettling, and not something that you've ever experienced before, especially with this gift that you have. And you hear the distant sound of what sounds like people screaming in agony and in terror.
She kind of just juts forward a little bit, and her eyes come back to normal as she's panting slightly. Yeah, there's bad news happening here, and people are in trouble. And I'm gonna look at Santiago. He may be here.
Yeah, when you go through your whole marionette thing, Santiago kind of notices it, and he rushes forward and kind of like places his hand on the middle of your back and starts whispering a silent prayer to help you out in anything. It doesn't do anything, but like, you know, it makes him feel better.
Yeah, when
and
she comes back, she kind of swats her hand away.
Yeah, but when you say that, he takes it very seriously, and he kind of his hand starts glowing, preparing to sacred flame any danger that comes through, and he kind of puts his hand on his mace, and he says, "What exactly did you see, Miss Mavis?"
It was a cliff, and beyond that, couldn't see anything. And then there were screams. You didn't hear
Do
nothing?
you hear the screams now? Where can you tell
No.
anything? What's going on?
Do you hear screams, Santiago?
Well,
He's not
I
very perceptive.
Well, yeah, he says, "Well, no, Miss, listen, I know you're just upset because you went through the whole thing. We've been working on that, but I'm just trying to help out the situation.
You're a damn
Do you
shrink.
have any idea where we should look for these screams that you heard? It's a very serious thing."
Jeremy, do I know which direction they came from?
Straight ahead, towards the center of town.
What's in the center of town? Can we tell?
Not
Oh.
yet. But if you're
I'm
moving
gonna-
forward, then you will soon.
Yeah. How close are we to the nearest like building or residence, home, business, whatever it may be?
So Sebastian had mentioned possibly
Hitching horse.
hopping out of the saddle and leaving the horses behind. Is that the plan?
I believe that we were like he said about like hitching them somewhere, tying them so they obviously don't run free.
Yeah. So about how far away would you have done that before you dismounted?
That would be up to him. I don't have a horse.
I was kind of thinking just as we got to the nearest hitching post within the town itself.
Yeah, sure. So there's probably like a, we'll say that it's like a barber or something that's kind of on the edge of town. You can tell by the red and white like swirled post outside. And there's a hitching post nearby that you can certainly kind of loop the reins around. But it's as you're riding up to this point and dismounting from your horses that you actually see the reason why you're not hearing anything coming from the town. Everywhere that you look, there are bodies that are laid out. Some of them don't look like they simply fell that way. They look like they may have been placed there. Whatever has happened, Maven's Bluff has been witness to a terrible massacre.
I'm gonna walk or sneak up to the nearest building, the tavern or bar that we hitched our horses to, and I'm just gonna look up into the windows, see if I see any movement in the closest building to us.
Okay. You sneak up to the windows of this barbershop, kind of peer inside. You don't see anybody moving around, but you do see a few people in the barber chairs. But they're not moving.
Has the rest of the group seen the massacre?
That's up to each of you.
I imagine so. I imagine Sam was coming along with you to hitch his horse up as well, because we're not going to investigate this town on horseback. So, I don't think Sam even like hitches his horse once he sees this. He's near Sebastian. He just kind of jumps off the horse and like throws the reins in a general direction of one of the party members, and like runs to the nearest body to start inspecting and see if he can see what's going on.
Before he starts running, are you said the bodies aren't moving in this barbershop. Is there any form of light, or is it dark? The torches put out, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, you can see that there are lanterns and whatnot that would be on the outside of some of these buildings and set on, the usual places that you might find them on the interior. But it looks like they aren't lit. So it is fairly dark inside. Now, there is light that's kind of coming in from, the little bit of refracted daylight and, the reflection off of the snow and things like that. So you might be able to see in here, but it's pretty dim.
As I see Samuel throw down his reins and start moving towards the body, I would cautiously yell out, "Be careful. This seems eerily suspicious. It might be a trap."
Well, after he says that, Mavis is going to go and lean down and look at one of the bodies, and she's going to cast Speak with Dead.
Sebastian will grab the reins, wishing he wouldn't just run off, but he kind of grabs the reins, leads the two horses to the hitching post, and will start hitching up the horses. Not too tightly, but quite loosely, but enough for the horse to want to stay where it is.
Okay.
And Santiago would follow Mavis. Santiago would follow Mavis too as well, and he's just torn physically, like he just is hurting at seeing all the dead scattered.
Okay. For those of you who are going to look specifically at these bodies, before we get to the Speak with Dead spell, Mavis, each of you who is doing so can roll me an investigation check, if you would.
I know exactly what's going on. I got a 4.
Nothing gets past you.
I have a 21.
Okay.
You got a bird's eye view, it seems like.
Eagle eye. Ray, were you also rolling?
Was it Jeremy?
Yeah, I'll roll. I'll roll before I cast the spell.
What was that, Kevin?
I said he's a buzzard, Jeremy. Remember?
Crow, buzzard,
Speaking of that,
eagle, whatever.
Santiago's not eating any of the people, is he?
Not yet. They are
No.
dead.
Okay.
It's
I got a
tempting.
Just
dirty
checking.
20.
Dirty
No,
20.
he has a great respect for the dead.
Unless it's the
You
one
told
he's
me
eating.
you prefer your meals to be dead.
Look, he wants his meals to be dead at least a week.
He's not. He's not actually a buzzard. He is a crow that's actually just shaved his head and neck.
It's male pattern baldness, Kevin. Damn.
Squawk pattern baldness.
As long as he doesn't start laying eggs, we're fine. Okay. So it sounded like both of you, or two of you, had 20s?
I had a
Or
dirty
was it
20.
19 and a 20? Yeah, okay, both were 20. All right.
21.
So, Samuel, you're apparently just paying attention to everything else. Maybe your senses are on high alert or something, and you're looking at these bodies, but you're not really taking in a lot of detail. You know, you don't want to linger on them too long or something. But Santiago and Mavis, both of you see, whenever you start kind of getting closer to the first of these bodies, that there are strange bruisings around the necks and wrists of these individuals. Every single one of them that you see seems to have these. And because both of you also rolled very well, for whatever reason, I'll leave it to you to decide what that reason might be, you know that these are ligature markings. These people were bound and then were strung up at some point.
Yeah, Santiago would be disturbed by this. And he would look to Mavis and say, Miss Mavis, you doing okay?
She doesn't really look disturbed at all. She's talked to enough dead people to this doesn't really affect her.
And he'd just kind of like pat your shoulder, and he'd say, I know it's hard to take in. You don't need to talk about it. We'll figure out who did this.
I'll figure out right now. And I'll go ahead and cast Speak with Dead.
Okay, before we get to that, is there anything that Hops is doing in the meantime?
I would kind of not push open the door to the barber shop, but I would kind of peek in just enough to where I could see into it a little bit, and I would cast Mage Hand, and I would have my Mage Hand go and just turn one of the chairs to face me to see what it looks like.
Okay. So
I would probably go and stand up alongside him to see what he's looking at in the building itself.
okay, perfect. So Hops, you kind of summon this mage hand, and it kind of moves along close to the floor.
And when I do that, I forgot to mention I wanted to kind of look around to make sure neither Sebastian nor Samuel see me casting the spell.
Sebastian's literally just walking up behind you as you're doing it.
Well, I imagine I'm probably like this through the window at that time. Yeah, so you can get away with it.
Sure. And I think spectral hands or mage hand says something about it being spectral, so I think it's. I don't
to
think
be
it
honest,
has a visual.
With the arcane trickster, I can make it be invisible, so I'll actually
perfect.
just have it be invisible.
Okay, there you go. So we don't see, but maybe a strange twist of the wind or something like that across the dust on the floor, as the hand reaches out and grabs a hold of the base of one of these barbershop chairs and spins it slowly around towards you. And as it spins around, you see that this body is likewise deceased, has the same kind of markings on its hands and its neck, and looks as though it was placed in this chair. It doesn't look like this is the place where this person died.
Okay.
Okay. So, Mavis, you're casting Speak with Dead. Is there
Yes.
any? What are the components of this spell? Is there a way that this
Ooh.
appears whenever you're doing this?
Oh, gotcha. It's burning incense that are the components, and her eyes just go glassy for a minute as she starts whispering in, let's see, what do I know? She starts whispering in Elvish. Just the somatic components of the spell.
Okay. So as you're kind of you've lit these incense and you're kneeling down kind of in the frozen mud beside this body. Anybody else who's paying attention can notice that the smoke that is coming off of the incense that you're burning is traveling kind of along the chest of this individual and is actually being what looks like inhaled in through their nose. And after this happens for just a moment, Santiago and Samuel, you notice that Mavis stands up and begins walking towards the center of town.
I would grab her.
Okay. Mavis, you've begun your spell, and your eyes have rolled back, or what have you, and you find yourself on that precipice again, on the edge of that cliff, staring out into that abyss of darkness. But something seems to appear in the distance and start to grow closer. It takes a little while for you to realize that it is the shape of a massive tree. And you can see from its branches that there is a multitude of people that are hung there.
Hell yeah.
I will call out to them and see if anyone answers.
You see the bodies kind of gently swaying in the breeze, and you feel this tree, or maybe the people hanging amongst its branches. Regardless of who it is or what it is, you feel this draw, this desire to get closer to this entity.
I imagine that I start moving instinctively, but in the back of my mind, I'm just like clawing, trying to get back to myself, trying to pull myself away.
Okay. Santiago, are you trying to maintain hold on Mavis?
Absolutely, yeah. So when Mavis starts walking away, Santiago would grab her arm. And if she continues going, he would. So he'd probably take a firm grip and just start pulling her back and kind of trying to shake her. Miss Mavis, you're kind of going off there. What, Mavis? Answer me. What's going on?
Can I hear him?
It's like a faint whisper at this point. The screams that you're hearing ahead of you from the abyss are growing much louder. This pleading agony that they're calling to you with is starting to kind of overtake what you might be hearing from the real world.
I imagine that I just faintly hear him, and the part of me that is not quite there just smiles and whispers, I'm coming home, and just keeps trying to move forward. While the rest of me is trying so desperately to get back in control.
Okay.
Would I be able to cast guidance on Miss Mavis to maybe like help bring her to her senses? Was kind of my idea there.
Potentially. we can kind of flavor
Right.
that as
That's not
possibly as guidance, maybe even on yourself, because what I'm going to have you do
Sure.
is make opposed grapple checks. So,
Okay. Sure.
Mavis,
yeah.
you'll roll athletics or acrobatics, whichever you wish. Santiago, because you're basically instigating the grapple, you'll have to roll an athletics check. But if you want to cast guidance on yourself and just flavor it as, you're giving her this blessing in order to try to shake her free, that's fine.
I mean, you say that. I've got a really good acrobatics and a really bad athletics.
It's your choice. So
Mm.
that's the way the rules go.
Ooh, that's a natural one, actually.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
good. I got that's it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total.
Oh, so with my natural one, that would be a 7.
Okay. Wow. A tie. That's interesting. Okay.
Do we see
that-
anything in front of Mavis besides just like the normal town and the bodies and stuff?
Yeah, so looking down like kind of the main thoroughfare of town, you can see that there is a large tree that kind of dominates the center. And like where the majority of the forest that you've been riding through is a lot of kind of evergreens and conifers and stuff. The tree that's in the middle is definitely deciduous, and it's all of the leaves are gone, and its branches are kind of gnarled looking. And there are people hanging from the branches of that tree. That seems to be kind of where she's trying to head.
Sam's gonna walk over to the two of them and grab Santiago's arm and kind of like lightly pull it off of Mavis's hand or arm and say, "Looks like she's headed for the tree. Why don't you get in front of her? But this might lead us somewhere we need to go. Don't let her get to the tree, just to be safe. But this might be of some help."
And you would see, so as you've been traveling with Santiago, he's been kind of, I guess the best way to describe how he looks is just derpy, right? Just nothing behind the eyes. But you see, at this moment, he's like very stern face, and he's kind of clinging, except without the smile. And he says, "There's something wrong with that tree. We need to stay away from it."
We ain't gonna let nothing happen to her. Trust me. You're all traveling with me. I give my life before I let any of you be harmed. We got to figure out what's happening. And as Sam's saying this, he's reaching down and like removing the thong off of the top of his guns.
And so he kind of looks at you and he gives you a nod, and he kind of walks in front of Mavis, just kind of keeping an arm's distance from her in the tree, and he's going to start walking towards and inspect the tree.
And Sam posts up like directly next to Mavis' side, like matching best as he can step for step as they're moving forward.
Okay. So the two of you kind of keep an eye on Mavis in this situation as it's developing. When you release Mavis starts slowly kind of walking that direction again. Doesn't seem to be in any great hurry, and her focus, though it's looking that direction, is very much kind of a 1,000-yard stare. Just almost just looking off into space, even though it's that direction. The other two of you, on the front porch of the barbershop where you're looking in, you notice that the three of them are kind of wandering closer towards the center of town. Is there anything that you want to do in the interim?
I would be looking in. I wouldn't be paying much attention to the three off in the towards the center of town. I personally would be looking more into the into the barbershop to see if there was any kind of cash register or stash or anything inside of the shop.
Sebastian would hear what was being said with the other three, look in that direction, see what's sort of happening, and he'd look back at Hops and go, Hops, time to stick together. Come on. And he would turn and sort of jog over to the other three and see what Sam's plan is.
And I would kind of do like one of those look around, look at him, look at what's going on down the road, and then just kind of give a little scowl and then run along to see what's going on, because it's a very eerie setting. The bodies that we pass along the way, do any of them, are they all look like they are citizens of this town, or do they have like different apparel that would be from out of town, like a rival gang, or just different clothing that this area wouldn't be dressed in?
Right. As you look around, you notice that they all seem to be townsfolk. Men, women, children of all varying ages, but all of them seem to be dressed for the local weather, as it were, and they don't seem to be, out of place here.
Right. Okay.
Also, as you're kind of turning away in disappointment, you do happen to see a glass jar that is sitting near, kind of on the front windowsill, and there's a few bills that are stuck inside of it. You think that you could probably get to it if you just kind of, quickly reached in through the open door and grabbed it.
As I'm leaving, I would have my mage hand go over and just pluck one or two of the bills out of the jar and then come out the door following me.
Perfect. Okay, roll me a d10.
A 6.
Okay, you just got $6.
Hell yeah.
Dollars, I think, in Caldera, if I'm recalling correctly, are called dragons. I think that's right. So that's basically the equivalent of a gold piece. Okay.
I'm rich.
So as Hops begrudgingly kind of starts bringing up the rear, and Bastion is kind of making his way up alongside Samuel, we see the group of you kind of pressing further towards the center of town, but we very quickly kind of shift back over to what Mavis is seeing. Mavis, you are approaching the base of this sizable tree, and you can see that its gnarled branches are extending out away from its trunk like the grasping claws of some fell creature. And hanging from several of its branches are the bodies of what now you can tell seem to be ordinary townsfolk. Their hands are bound at their sides or behind their backs, much the same as the ligature markings on the bodies that you have come across is kind of indicated. But as you approach this tree, you realize that these screams that you've been hearing have kind of faded away and have become whispers again. And you can't tell if the whispers are coming from the tree itself or if they're from the various bodies that are hanging there. But they seem to whisper almost in an unsettling kind of harmony.
Can I listen to see what they're saying? Don't really know how to take that.
Now, did Ray actually understand that?
Yes.
That's a good question.
Well, Ray may not have, but her character would have. Did you actually understand what I said?
What have you done?
Why have you come?
Why have you come? Gotcha. Am I able to talk at all?
Mm-hmm.
To take back what's mine. What you stole.
The child.
The
Don't make this-
child?
Don't make this about her.
Would you like your child returned?
You say that. I know that's a lie. I don't know what you're planning, but she ain't coming back.
There is so much that we can offer.
After what you've done, you think I'd trust you?
It was you who came to ask questions, Mavis. Ask us your questions.
Was it him who killed you? The one who took my soul?
Yes. A few of us were given as gifts to the gallows tree. Now, we are one with so many others.
Where is he? Where are you keeping him?
He is close enough. He does our bidding. He brings more strange fruit.
Think I got all the information I needed. I release you now, and I'm going to hold up one of my tarot cards to see if that will be enough to break the connection.
So you're dropping your spell, and that will absolutely sever the connection between you and the gallow tree. You find yourself standing in front of a tree that doesn't look wholly dissimilar to the one that you just saw, but this one is less evolved. It's almost like it's slowly being turned into a version of the tree that you just saw. But there are still bodies that you can see hanging from the branches of the tree that is here in the material plane.
Am I fully in control of myself now?
Yep.
I'm just going to turn back to Santiago and just give him a look. He's here, and he's the one who killed him.
Santiago would look at the tree and say, right here, at that tree.
He's close. That's what they said.
Can I get any sense of how evilly the tree is?
Do you have detect evil or something? Detect whatever it's called.
I have detect magic, and I have. Oh, I'm sure there's a
Clerics have.
cleric thing, right? Yeah. No, I got
I'm sure they have something like
turn
that.
turn undead.
They can. I don't know what level spell it is, but there is a spell detect good and evil. but
Um,
know.
It can't be that high.
it depends
No,
on
yeah,
if you
that's like
prepared
a.
it or not.
I do not have. Prepared. I have
Okay.
detect magic prepared.
So you could cast detect magic if you'd like on it to see if it
Uh,
actually has some
yeah.
kind of supernatural quality. But I mean,
Sure.
just looking at it, you wouldn't necessarily say that's an evil tree. Now, there's evil things that are
Yeah.
definitely going on here.
Right.
And Santiago, I will say that you've seen Mavis talk to the dead a bunch of times. She's never quite
Right.
been this riled up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's why he's pretty on edge. I mean, you go Mariette mode every once in a while, but
Yeah.
this is different. So yeah, he'd look at the tree and he'd look at Mavis and he'd say, you think this tree got something to do with it? Like a connection of some type?
There ain't no doubts.
Um, Santiago would go to the tree and put his hand on it.
I think Sebastian.
Santiago,
Would
don't-
when Santiago goes to touch the tree, I know we're a little ways away, but would I notice him approaching the tree?
I think so. I mean, you're kind of coming up from the back of the group, so I think that you could absolutely see him moving up to her.
I would immediately, seeing that there's bodies hanging from this tree, I would point over to Santiago, and in his head, he would just hear my voice, "Don't touch that tree,"
Um,
as I'm messaging him.
the dice tell me that I don't listen to you.
I will try to grab at you. Get you to stop and think about what you're doing. For once.
Samuel, what the hell is going on here?
I don't rightly know. How long have we all been traveling together? Like, it's just been a few days. It's been a while. Like, how well do we all know each other?
You tell me.
I guess
probably
specifically Mavis and Crow and Santiago.
Even if you've been traveling for me for a while, you do not know me.
Would they know that a couple of us are illegal magic users, or are we all just hiding this bullshit?
Sam could care less about that, honestly. Like, he's not with the law anymore, and you're not hurting someone, so he ain't worried about it. I'm just wondering if like we would know any of this story and just be in utter confusion, or if we kind of know a little bit of what was going on right now.
I imagine we haven't really told you much of anything. We told you that we're looking for a necromancer, and that's about it.
Now, Sebastian
also doesn't care because he's not been given the job to care about it, so he doesn't care about it.
You know, we're looking for someone, and I believe the two of them are looking for someone as well. Now, it seems like their person is here somewhere. I don't know what all this eyes rolling and walking around and standing here staring at a tree and all this is doing for us, but they might have found who they're looking for. It's more than I can say for him. He looks over at Hops because we haven't had any direction on what we're looking for. Maybe if his information is correct, maybe who we're looking for is around as well. Or maybe this necromancer knows where we're looking for too. I say we help them.
I'll follow your lead, Sam.
You ain't got to say it like that. I know I help everyone. It's somebody's in need. I got to help them, all right?
The other day,
We had a
You helped an old lady cross the street.
It was muddy, all right? Them carts were going at least a mile an hour.
Jeez.
Speed demons.
Sam like finds a stone sticking out of the snow and kind of scrapes his boot off, pulls a match out and lights a match and lights a cigar. People are stressing me out. Which way we going, Mavis?
Not towards the evil tree would be my solution, Santiago. And I'm just gonna give him a big ol' yank in the other direction.
He would yank you back, and he would say, "Miss Mavis, I've been traveling with you for a while, and you keep talking about how nobody understands you. This may be my chance to understand what you're talking about. Now,
That
if
ain't
I'm
quite-
gonna, if no, you listen. I need to figure out what you're going through. If we are going to figure out what's wrong with you and how to fix it." And he plops his hand on the tree and tries to get a sense of what's going on there.
Lord help
I
us.
guess with detect magic or something. Yeah, I guess detect magic would be his best option at the moment. Get an idea.
Sebastian will his hand will creep towards his 6-shooter and will be looking around anxiously, just making sure he's keeping an eye on the area around.
Okay. Santiago, whenever you cast your spell, whenever you offer up this detect magic prayer, is there anything in particular that accompanies it? Is there a visual or anything that you utter?
Yeah. So it is it's a verbal spell, so it doesn't have any components or anything. But as far as kind of what you would see, it's kind of like what you would think of as a holy light. Oh wait, is detect magic a visual only? I guess it's not the biggest concern. But yeah, so it's a mix between what you would think of as kind of like a holy light, so kind of that yellow warm light, but mixed with almost like a greenish naturey swirl within it, from his past as being brought up Dorathian and being in connection to that side of things as well. His eyes don't roll on the back of his head or anything like that, but you would see he's focused, and he for once looks like he knows what he's doing.
Mavis, have you ever seen Santiago cast this spell before?
I imagine I would have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay. So, Santiago, you cast this spell and place your hand kind of up against the bark of this tree. And even though your eyes don't roll into the back of your head, your vision does have a shift. Mavis, you notice that this green swirling light that is usual whenever Santiago casts this spell comes out of his hand, his body, however it normally manifests. But you notice that instead of clinging kind of to the surface of whatever it is that he's investigating, that this tree absorbs it, almost like water into a sponge. It just disappears straight into the bark of the tree. Santiago, you find yourself in the mission of the Padre where you were first rescued. It's a familiar place to you. Home for many, many years at least. You're up in the balcony at the rear of this cathedral, kind of looking down onto the gathered congregation. It's a busy day. The pews are full, but nobody is standing at the pulpit. You're looking down, and all of a sudden, the entire congregation turns in your direction, looking back and up at you. And you can see that every single one of them has these ligature markings around their necks. And all of a sudden, the mission begins to rumble. And up from beneath the pulpit, a tree breaks through the floor, shattering the floorboards and the pulpit itself, busting through the windows, the walls, the roof, and all of the congregation is yanked from where they're seated in their pews by these spectral nooses that drag them away from their seated positions and up into their ornamental places amongst the branches of this giant tree. And as this thing springs up into existence in front of you, you too hear this kind of gathering of voices.
What are you, unholy being? Get out of my church. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't quite hear that one.
Yeah, it said, "We are the Gallow Tree, and we are now your church."
Ooh.
Well, hell no, you ain't.
You would you don't like that too much. He would say,
You ain't white. You ain't a crow.
yeah, he says, he grabs his mace, and he says, I got but one God these days, and you ain't it. You're an abomination, and you ain't my church. What do you want with Miss Mavis?
Mavis is our business. But we can make you an offer. Do you not want your family back?
I'm gonna need to consult the Oracle for translation on that one as well.
Perfect. Yep. It said that Mavis is our business, but we can make you an offer. Wouldn't you like your family back?
He would say, if it's one thing I know, you never make a deal with the devil. My family is long and gone, and I have accepted that. My new family is faith, and the Lady of Light will always be here for me. She's going to be here for Miss Mavis too. Now you get on and get out of here. And before I need to use the Holy Lord to kick you out myself. And he kind of loads up a sacred flame in his hand, and he's very determined. You ain't got no business with Miss Mavis, and you know the Lady of Light's gonna take care of her. You be sure of that.
The tree releases you, Santiago. You find yourself standing back in the middle of the town again, with your hand on the bark of this very real, tangible tree. And you hear the voices no more. The answer to your question of your spell? Yes. Undoubtedly, this tree is magic.
Okay, that's good. That's good. He just starts swinging at this tree with a mace.
Does Detect Magic also tell him what kind of magic it was, or no?
Unholy heathen magic is what it was.
I meant from like what school of magic?
Let me see.
Magic of the savages.
It's definitely
You-
not
yeah,
like
you learn it-
necromancy
it
or
was
anything.
magic.
You learn at School of Magic, if any.
And when you learn, okay, yeah, yes, this is absolutely beyond a doubt necrotic, whatever that would be called, necromantic.
Necromancy.
It's
Uh,
romantic, okay.
Is there like spooky sensual music playing while all this happening?
Yes, certainly. Spooky sensual music is the speciality, I'm told, here at Dimension 119.
Only on the weekends.
Heyo. Yeah, when Santiago comes out of this, you see he doesn't get mad. He feels that anger is a pointless emotion to have. But he's just overcome, probably because he was just in the presence of a terrible being that, he's strong in his faith but weak in the body in a sense. So he's probably let his emotions overtake him, and he just starts swinging into this tree with his mace, just like chipping off bark and trying to do some type of damage with it until he gets exhausted, or until someone takes him off. But yeah, he's just in a blind rage on the tree of all things.
All right.
Mavis is
Well, this
pretty
was-
confused about seeing
Yeah.
this, but she's just gonna stand back and just kind of watch him with like one eyebrow kind of arched.
Well, that escalated quickly.
And I'll look over at Santiago and be like, if you want to take down this tree, it'd probably be better if we just burnt it and correct instead of being an insane lunatic.
That's kind of all his specialty is. Insane or stupid.
Well, I got that when he ignored my message, but whatever.
Yeah, he wouldn't give any response to that. Am I like, are pieces of the tree like chipping off of it, or is it like I'm
Absolutely.
stone?
No. I mean, it's a frozen, tree, but it's
Okay.
your mace is definitely doing damage to it.
Then to just top it off, he would start sacred flaming it and trying to light this bitch on fire
Yeah.
with
Okay.
with holy flame, holy fire.
With holy fire. All right.
And he would be kind of like shouting prayers and hymns and kind of ritualistic utterances as he's doing it.
Would they be in common or would they be in bird?
Well, I picture it in Latin is kind of what I'm thinking it would sound
fair.
like, but
All right.
This is
Bastard.
roleplay. We're gonna need to see it, Nate.
yeah. No,
Dust off your Latin real
I'll
quick.
get yeah, I'll get canceled. So
Okay.
don't want to aggravate the Latino community.
So, as
Well,
yeah,
you
would
just
not-
There's no
There's no connection there.
there's also
okay,
no
first-
native
okay.
speaking Latin.
Hold
Yes,
on.
most
Yes,
of them are
yes.
Catholic,
All right.
but
First off, Derek, I just need to educate you real quick. Latino is a mix between Latin and Taino. All right. So, boom, get out of my face on that one, bro.
Dude, I know we said to roleplay, but we didn't mean be as stupid as Santiago.
Speaking of stupid, Sam looks at Sebastian and says, "I thought birds lack trees."
So as Santiago goes all super Baptist on this tree, and the rest of you are standing around kind of confused as to what exactly is going on, there is a shot that rings out from behind you, a single shot. And I think that's where we're going to take our break. So, we're going to take 10, if that's okay with everybody. Go to the bathroom, refill your drinks, smoke them if you got them, kiss your spouse, etc., etc. And yeah, this is
got a
super
dog.
fun so far.
Go kiss your dog.
Kiss your dog. Yeah, don't smoke him. But yeah, this is a lot of fun so far. I can't wait to get to the second half of what I've got planned. So sit tight. We'll be right back. Hello, and we are back. Welcome back to Dimension 119. We are not running the usual game here. Tonight we are running a Caldera Scattershot called A Shallow Grave. If you've missed the first half, well, I'm sorry. But welcome to the second half. Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
We have all agreed that we have quit Strahd. It's never going to finish. We've all agreed.
No, you guys have to finish
Because-
it. You came this
No,
close.
we're finishing
No,
it,
our
Derek.
games don't finish. Our games don't finish. It cannot finish.
If you don't finish it, somebody's just going to fanfic the ending, and you really don't want that.
We'll finish it without Derek and actually beat Strahd if we have to.
Yeah.
Look, I got the module all up. I can do it. It'll be much harder, but I can do it.
But yeah, this has been a lot of fun already, and I'm excited to get to the second part. So unless anybody has any questions or business that they want to address before we do so, I think we're ready to kick this off, the second half here.
Yep.
What do y'all say?
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. All right. So you were gathered around this tree that kind of dominates the center of the town of Maven's Bluff. Bodies kind of laid out around you in all directions. Several of them are still hanging from the branches of the tree that you're now standing in front of, as Santiago goes absolutely berserk on the trunk of this tree with his mace, I think you said.
Yeah.
Perfect. And some of you may or may not still be a little reeling from your interactions with this tree. Some of you may or may not be reeling from your confusion about what exactly the hell is going on at this moment. But there is a shot that has just rung out from back behind you. Sebastian, you were on guard. Specifically, you mentioned that you were kind of trying to look around, make sure that nothing kind of surprised you. Apparently, somebody had stepped out from a building onto the front porch. And at first, you're not entirely sure exactly what you're seeing. This individual definitely has the swagger of an outlaw. You can see they're wearing a hat. They're wearing guns on their sides. But it takes you a moment to realize that this person doesn't look right. This person is incredibly gaunt. You're fairly certain that you even see bone in a few places. You can see a skull that is in the place of his face. And you're fairly certain you see several arrows that are sticking straight through his tattered clothing and through his chest. He's holding a 6-shooter in his hand as he is stepping out onto this front porch. And you can see the smoke kind of escaping from the barrel. He's stepped out onto the steps of this front patio, and I'll leave it up to... Actually, let's just do a die roll. Sebastian and Samuel, I think, both of you, if you wish, could roll a history.
And 8.
8? Okay.
17.
17. Okay. Samuel, you know who this individual is. At least you think so. And Hops, undoubtedly, you know this man. This man is named Marcus Calloway. Nope. I lied to you. This man's name is Creed Belmont. And he goes by the name of Whitey. Or at least he did. This is the man that betrayed you. This is the man that sold you up the river. Last time you saw him, he definitely did not look like this. Samuel, you happen to know that at some point after Hops was turned in, you read in the paper or something that Whitey was gunned down in a duel at least 3-4 months ago.
It's like it would be like his clothing and all that kind of stuff that it just gives him straight away.
Absolutely.
Like, I wouldn't even notice that he is out of the ordinary. I would just recognize the clothing. I would cast Longstrider on myself, and I would just. How far away is he?
It's probably 70 feet, 80 feet at this point.
Oh, okay, perfect. I would cast Longstrider on myself, which increases my speed by 40. I would move up to him, and then bonus action dash and get right up in his face, and then go, oh shit.
Yeah, he kind of like looks down at you with these, non-existent eye sockets. These
and I would have
empty
my rapier
black
drawn,
things looking down at you. He says nothing to you, however, just kind of looks, and not sure if he's smiling at you or not.
Is he pointing the gun our direction, or did he like shoot up in the air? What's that situation?
It looked like he shot up in the air. Like as you kind of whipped around, you could see him kind of lowering it. He's got it trained kind of in your direction now. He's probably following hops with it. But he's not the only individual that seems to have emerged out on the street. There seems to be another person who has kind of wandered from the side of a house. He's wearing a top hat and a long black coat. And you can see,
Mr. Moneybags?
oddly enough, a large bird perched on his shoulder. It does appear to be a buzzard. But as this man gets closer, even beneath the dark brim of his hat, you can see the burning red embers that fill his eyes. And Mavis, you recognize this individual. This is the necromancer that you know to be known as the Undertaker.
Bong.
As soon as he steps out, I'm
Where's
just
Mayor
gonna
Kane?
reach for my I'm gonna reach for my crossbow and just glare at him. And I felt it before he stepped out, like the part of my soul that I still have was burning. You know why I'm here, you bastard. Hope you're ready to pay up.
Well. If it ain't Mavis. The last time I saw you, you gave me one hell of a gift. But you know what? I found myself wanting more. I'm so glad to see that you've come all this way just to see my work. Who knows? Before the sun sets, maybe you'll give me the rest of my gift.
Funny, to have a gift, it needs to be earned, I'd say. And you know damn well that you did not earn what you took.
Such a child. Such a child.
Sam straightens, pulls the cigar from his mouth, flicks it on the ground, grinds it out with the heel of his boots, and throws off his poncho. And he's just flapping off into the wind. And he's like, "You won't be taking nothing else from nobody else here, Pilgrim."
Is this where Is this where we do more helping, Sam?
I told you to stop asking that every time. This is it.
Didn't you see how I threw off my poncho?
And revealed my marble shirt.
Why? It's cold. Damn
I
fool.
told you to wear a jacket.
All right. So now we are going to enter initiative. We already got it rolled up, so we're just going to head straight in. Hops, you're primed for action and ready to go.
I am just gonna take my rapier and just try to shove it straight into Whitey's stomach.
All right, so go ahead and roll your attack.
22.
Okay, that does hit. Is your rapier magic?
No,
Okay.
that's 8 piercing damage.
Okay. You notice as you drive the blade of your rapier through Whitey, you notice that his dried out, desiccated form, there's just not a lot to it. It's pretty much kind of flesh and bone. There's no organs, no internals. So as it passes through him, you can tell that it does some damage. It just doesn't do quite as much as you might have hoped. Yeah, he has a resistance.
And then, is there like an alleyway nearby that
Yeah,
is
certainly.
visible? Okay. Then I'm gonna use a bonus action to disengage, slip down the alleyway out of sight.
Okay, yeah. So you kind of run this guy through, and he's not particularly fast. He kind of starts to turn in your direction, kind of lowering the gun towards you, but you're gone before he manages to even fully square up with you. Okay.
And then, if possible, if there's anything to
mhm.
hide behind, I'll just dip behind like a trash can or something.
Yeah, there's some rain barrels or something like that in between these buildings.
Perfect.
Cool. So next is Bass.
4 damage, Jeremy.
4 damage. Yep. Oh yeah, if you want to keep track of it, you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciated. And it's your turn.
I'll quickly try and look at Sam and say, which one are you helping? And just try and see if he motions with his gun or with his action rather than him saying something. But yeah, he'll just sort of say that, look for whatever way he's about to react to, and then I'll react the other way. If he's going after the necromancer, then I'll go after the skelly boy.
Sam is like kind of side-eyeing over towards Skelly Boy, but his focus is on the necromancer right now because he's the one that's kind of spoken and verbally threatened Mavis.
Yeah, I thought you would go after the one with Mavis, being the helpful sort of guy you are. Yeah, so he's going to see that and he'll react off that and he'll draw his 6-shooter. He'll run towards the Skelly Boy to get within 40 feet. How far did you say, Jeremy, we was? 70 feet?
Yeah, 70. So if
Yeah,
you have
so
30 move.
I actually have 40 move in the first round of
yeah.
combat.
Yeah.
So I will run 30, and just as I get within range, I will draw the pistol, and I will literally go 1, 2, 3, 4 shots into the skeleton. One of them is a bonus action, and Dread Ambusher gives me an extra attack in the first round of combat.
Nice.
In
Okay.
case you was thinking. So
you
yeah,
got 4 separate attacks coming in, right?
yeah, indeed.
All right. Let's roll them up. See what you got.
Okay. 14 is the first one.
Mhm.
Second one is 19, 18, and then 12.
Okay. So your first and your fourth are going to miss, but your third and your second and third will find a purchase with him. Is this a magical weapon, or are these magical weapons?
It is, yeah. So what would happen is you see that as he draws the 6-shooter from the hip, you see a blue magical ring begin to spin around the barrel near the chambers. And it starts off spinning slow, but then increases in speed. And that each shot that comes out is streaked blue as it thuds into him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that will be 13, 25 plus 7. 25 plus 7 is 32 damage on that. And then, so I've got 10 feet left, Jeremy. I will also look for some sort of cover from him, mostly. And I'm going to use that 10 feet to try and get behind the cover. And I'm going to also sort of slide prone as well, watching what he does. And that'll be my turn.
Okay. So, yeah, has any of the action economy that you spent used up your bonus action?
Yes, that final shot would have.
Okay. So, yeah, you're going to be moving to cover, but you won't have the chance to take cover quite yet.
Okay, that's fine. But I'll be dropping prone, so.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so your bullets have kind of ripped through the air as you're kind of fanning the hammer, firing, rapid fire. By the way, make sure that you're keeping track of ammo, everybody, so that you can reload whenever you have to. Doobie-doo. The 4 shots two of the 4 shots kind of rip through Creed. The other 2 kind of striking the building behind him or something, close misses. And he staggers back, taking the full brunt, the full damage from both of those shots. And he kind of turns his hollow eye sockets to look in your direction, Bastion. Okay. Santiago, it's your turn.
Santiago, he's kind of having a fit over at the tree, and he hears the shot. He looks around and he sees these two people come out, and he looks over to Mavis and says, Santiago has never seen this necromancer, right?
No, we've never gotten this close to him.
Yeah, so he'd probably be able to tell that this is the dude. Oh well, yeah, you talked to him.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. So he would. So he plans on casting Bless, and I can cast it on up to 3 creatures within range. He would like to move up to where he can kind of get some value out of choosing three creatures. Would he be able to do that? I'm not sure kind of the distance that we're looking at here.
Yeah,
how
so
far
the
away
two of
they
them
are from.
Yeah, the 2 of them are probably 30 feet away from one another because they're on opposite sides of the street.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the only 2 creatures that you can currently see.
And then the creature itself, it was 70 feet away, or the skeleton was 70 feet away from me initially.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at how far away specifically Mavis and Samuel are.
Oh, I'm sorry.
From Santiago.
They're right behind you.
Sam is still right close.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so he's gonna cast Bless on Mavis and Samuel, and he would say Mavis or Miss Mavis. Miss Mavis. The Lady of Light's gonna have your back just like I will. We're gonna take this some bitch down. And he kind of moves his hand forward, and that same kind of mix between the earthy greens and the holy golds kind of come out of his hands and kind of almost like fairy dust sprinkle over you two, and I guess him as well. And he kind of sets up, and he's just gonna take his move action along with Mavis. So if Mavis moves up, then he's gonna move up.
Mavis is gonna tilt her hat. Much appreciated, Father Turkneck.
Fair enough. He cracks a smile at that one.
She's not smiling. You've kind of never seen her smile, so that kind of tracks.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So that's my action. I guess, yeah, that's really all I can do right now.
Okay. So you kind of stand beside Mavis, ready to move forward on her mark after you kind of give this blessing to the two of them. And the necromancer kind of speaks out again.
Oh, where are my manners? Mavis, meet an old friend. Maybe you'd like to get reacquainted.
He indicates the skeletal outlaw who is standing nearby, who then turns and looks in your direction, Mavis, kind of between you and Sebastian. When he looks at you, there's something about this hollow gaze that he kind of casts in your direction. You sense the presence of the sundered portion of your soul. He raises this gun that he has in the direction of Sebastian and draws the second from the other side of his pelvis. And he's going to fire once at Sebastian and once at Mavis. Sebastian, you're up first. He is shooting you with his gun known as the Soul Sipper. He is at disadvantage because you are prone.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is your AC?
17.
17. Okay. So this bullet fires in your direction, but it causes the dirt to kind of explode in a plume just a few feet in front of you as he misses the shot. And as he does so, when the bullet impacts the ground, instead of it making the noise that a bullet makes when it ricochets or makes an impact in something, you swear you hear this kind of otherworldly, like, The second shot is coming towards Mavis. Mavis, you are still 70 feet out, so he's going to walk towards you to get rid of that disadvantage. He's going to close 30 feet towards you. The gun that he is firing at you is known as Damnation. What is your AC?
15.
Okay, that's going to hit. All right, so Mavis, you're going to take damage to the tune of 9 points of piercing. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Easy.
Got it. 17.
Okay, excellent. As this bullet strikes you, you feel this kind of despair almost starting to try to overcome you, but you manage to push it down and ignore it enough to the point where you stave off the effects of whatever that was. Okay, so he is shot, moved forward, and shot his second time. That is Whitey's turn. Okay. The Undertaker's turn. He strides forward, kind of out into the middle of the thoroughfare, the side street that's kind of in the middle of these buildings. And as he does so, Mavis, you notice out of the corner of his eye that he kind of extends his empty left hand out beside him, and you see like embers and smoke begin to gather in his hand as a fiddle materializes into his hand, and he brings it up beneath his chin and starts to draw his hand across it. And as he draws it across the strings, with the first note that resonates out from this fiddle, the bow forms across the strings of this violin, and he begins to play a tune. And as he does so, all of you feel the ground beneath your feet begin to tremble. And very soon, things begin to pop out of the ground. It takes you only a glance to realize that these things are hands. Hands of the townfolk that you realize are buried everywhere beneath your feet, as they begin to climb their way up and out of their shallow graves. All right. Mavis, it's your turn.
So is anyone in front of me besides the Undertaker?
There are some townsfolk that are coming up out of the ground.
Cool, good to know. I'm going to use my bonus action to pull on my spirits. Let's see. Tales from Beyond. That is a 6. Wait, do I have a... I think it's a D6. Or maybe it was a D8. Hold on. I think it was a D8. I'm sorry.
You're good.
That's an 8. Ooh, that's interesting. So she's going to pull a card up. You can barely see it, but it's there. And her eyes just kind of flash, and she turns invisible as I use the Tail of the Phantom. And I will move to, well, I will move to where I'm only catching the Undertaker and these townfolk in a 10-foot radius. And
okay.
They need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Is this part of the same?
No,
same
I'm using Shatter. I'm using Shatter.
Okay, and you can do both of them on the same?
Yeah,
action
because
economy and everything?
Actually, oh man, you're right.
Okay.
I will just
double-checking.
I will just turn invisible then.
Okay. I just don't know. I don't know what the
Yeah. Let me.
The archetype that you're using. I don't know what the moves cost.
Yeah. I forgot
There we
that it's bonus action to draw and action to actually use it. So after she draws,
you had it in your
up
hand
her
though,
card,
right? You already had your cards out in your hand. You had specifically described that earlier.
Yeah, but it's an action to actually use it. Like I can draw a card bonus action, but it's an action to actually use it.
Okay, I see.
So,
right. Okay.
I will just turn invisible then.
Okay, so you kind of disappear from, the visible spectrum as you're kind of positioning yourself better for whatever it is that you have planned next.
Mm-hmm.
The Undertaker kind of looks in your direction, and you can see the orange glow of his eyes kind of flare the moment that you disappear, and they kind of sweep the area around. You don't really get the impression that he can see you.
I will say before I disappear, I will nod to Santiago and say, "Don't die."
All right. So the townsfolk are bursting up from the ground, and they are making their way towards whoever of you is the closest. Since this is kind of theater of the mind, we are going to just handle this to where there's 2 that are coming after each of you, with the exception of Mavis, because they cannot see her currently. So there's 2 that are kind of wandering around, not sure where they're going. Okay, we're just going to go around the horn. We're going to start with Nathan first. You've got 2 coming at you. Nathan, what is your AC?
14.
14. Okay, so the first one is going to hit. Okay, we're going to do this one at a time here. All right. They got you with this slam. They walk up and slam you with their fist. And as they do so, they grab a hold of your clothes. You're going to take 3 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are grappled and restrained. Which means that the second one that walks up to you to make their attack does so at advantage. Okay, so they walk up and they hit you with their secondary attack, Rend. And this is going to they grab a hold of you, and they begin to basically pull at your limbs in an unnatural fashion. So you can feel the muscles kind of starting to tear beneath your skin as they rend for 7 points of slashing damage.
Nathan taking damage. What's new?
All right.
Still
Sebastian.
attacked.
Well, yeah, that's the way this works. 2 are now attacking Sebastian.
Advantage.
They have advantage?
Yeah, he's prone.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yep. Yeah, so, like, yours are barely, like, even out of the ground. You know, they're basically, like, heads and shoulders that have kind of burst out of the ground nearby you, where you just happen to basically lay down right in their arms, and they're kind of reaching up to grab a hold of you. The first one is going to hit, because it's, like, in the 20s. And you're going to take 3 points of bludgeoning damage. You are also likewise grappled and restrained. And the second one that is approaching is going to attempt its rend upon you. What is your AC again?
17.
17 is the magic number. So that one lands and is going to rend you for slashing damage. To the tune of a drop d4. To the tune of 6 points of slashing damage. All right, the next, skipping Mavis, hops in this back alley. Even here, there are bodies that are buried close enough that they're able to shamble towards you and grab a hold, or attempt to grab a hold of you. What is your AC?
16.
16. Okay, so the first one, the slam, is going to hit you for 2 points of bludgeoning.
2? Okay.
2, yep. You are grappled and restrained, which will give the second one the capability to try to rend. That's also going to hit. Damn.
I will use my uncanny dodge to have this one.
Okay. You may want to hold on to... Well, do you have to announce it before you know what it is?
It says hit you with an attack. You don't. It's not when you know how much damage.
It doesn't matter. Okay. You may want to hold on to it, because it's only going to be 3 points.
Well, it's a reaction, so I can do it.
Oh, that's true. You can do it over and over again. Sorry. Never mind. Okay. So then you'll take 1 point. Okay. Last but not least, Santiago. 2 of them kind of come up from the ground and grab a hold of you, or attempt to. The first one, what is your AC?
16.
It's going to miss. Yeah, that misses. So the second one is not going to be able to rend, but they are going to attempt their slam on you. Okay, so they did manage to land it, which means that you will be grappled and restrained as well, but you are going to take 2 points of bludgeoning. So this flash mob, forms around you in the streets and the alleyways of the town of Maven's Bluff, and suddenly the townsfolk are everywhere amongst you, clawing, grabbing at whatever they can get a hold of: hair, clothing, armor, your limbs, whatever it is they can manage to grasp. They're doing so and holding you tightly. These are known as the Barely Buried. All right. Last in the initiative order is Samuel.
So what does the restrained condition do to me?
Restrained.
Disadvantage.
Makes you question your
Disadvantage
life
on
choices.
attacks, and then disadvantage against.
Yeah, I think people have advantage against you, and your speed is 0. You can't benefit from any bonus to your speed. Attack rolls have advantage, and your attack rolls have disadvantage, and you have disadvantage on dex saves.
Okay. Would I be able to pull my pistol and fire at this necromancer from where I'm at?
Yep, you'll just be at disadvantage.
Got it. Nate, what does the bless do that you gave us?
Oh, let me. It gives you
usually
A D4 to,
D4.
D4 to attacks and saves.
D4 to attacks and save.
Nate, did you take damage just?
I did take damage. Oh yeah, I have to roll concentration.
Yes.
Same team.
No,
Shouldn't be
like
very
that's fair.
difficult. Concentration.
So I don't roll concentration. Is it just a D20?
Yes.
No, it's
Oh
a
yes.
it's a Constitution saving throw.
Oh,
sorry.
Constitution.
Yeah. You're right. Constitution
Oh, gotcha.
You got to get above.
save. Yeah.
Kevin's
The damage was low
priorities
enough,
are
it's
like
just gonna be a 10.
Caldera, fanboy,
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I got a 19 on the die.
Okay.
and
yep.
team
My
player second.
Con saves +1.
As always.
Spell is still up and going.
Cool.
Is that that's not a one-use thing, right? That lasts for like a
No.
minute as long as the spell's
Yeah.
still up?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
last minute.
I probably,
Badass spell.
I hope I don't need it, but I'm going to try it anyways. Okay, that's going to make it a 21 to hit.
Yes.
Ooh.
Absolutely will hit.
All right.
Good.
So, Samuel's being like rended by these creatures, and he kind of yelps a bit and damnation, and managed to get one arm free and just draws this pistol from his side, this just worn, it almost looks as if it shouldn't be firing, because it's seen a lot of use and a lot of practice, but as he kind of pulls the hammer back, you can hear like how good the insides have been taken care of. You can hear, it's almost an audible sound about how well oiled this gun is and how nice the inner workings have been taken care of. And he just kind of one arm looks towards this necromancer and fires, just hoping to hit this fiddle that he's pulled out.
All right. Well, it sounds like your attack hit because you were like 21, I think you said. So
21.
Mm-hmm.
So let me
So
figure
it'll hit.
that up. It's dex, right? Add dex for
Damage.
your pistol rolls.
Damage? Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be an 11 damage with the +1 pistol.
11 damage. All right, so he will take all of that. I think that's the first that he's been touched, if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
Do you get 2 shots, or is that only if you get two attacks? I mean, I do have 2 attacks, but I couldn't remember what your rules do.
Yeah, so you get as many shots per round as you have attacks. So
Okay,
if you have
so
two
I
attacks,
will
you can
take
two
my
shots.
second attack.
Okay. Blam, blam. The second shot rings out.
That is 9, 13, 17 to hit.
That with the D4?
Yep.
17 will hit.
All right. 8, 9, 12 damage for that one.
So 11 and 12. Okay.
What's he looking like right now?
I mean, to be honest, he didn't look great to start with. But he's definitely got a few new holes in him. He doesn't seem to really bleed that you can see.
All right. So I've never played a fighter. I think I'm gonna save my special thing for later. Hopefully I won't have disadvantage. But hopefully I'll get to use it.
Okay. So we are going to hit the end of your turn. You are still grappled and restrained. We're going to move back to the top of the round with Hops.
How much? How much damage did the Undertaker take?
23 is what I'm at.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Derek, what you got?
Was I also restrained? I can't remember if he said I was restrained or not.
I think everybody actually ended up getting grappled and restrained, except for Mavis.
Okay, so shit. I am going to try to break out. It can be either acrobatics or athletics, correct?
Yes, because you're not the one that's instituting the grapple.
So I am going to try to make an acrobatics check to try to slip out of this thing's grasps.
Okay. It does take an action to try to escape. Okay, so go ahead and attempt it. Make your acrobatics.
That is a
and
15.
I will roll their athletics. Is that 15? Okay. Yeah, please explain and describe how it is that you wriggle free from these two individuals.
I kind of just wiggle out of his grasp, kind of squeeze myself in a little bit and just slip out of his grasp. And then since I am no longer restrained, I am going to use my bonus action to use my racial feature rabbit hop. How high are the buildings?
I mean, they're of varying heights, but the ones beside you are probably 12, 15 feet high.
It says rabbit hop. I don't know if I can do a standing jump, but the rabbit hop action, as a bonus action, I can jump a number of feet equal to 5 times my proficiency, which would be 15. It doesn't say if I can do it. Then I'm just going to hop straight up to the roof.
Okay. Nice. And
it takes no opportunity attacks.
Okay, that was going to be my question. All right. So you kind of push them off, kind of wriggle your way free, get just barely clear of them as they kind of round on you to try to clamor for you more. And you do that, boom, boom, and shoot straight up into the sky and onto the roof of this building. You land up here onto the roofing boards, and, they're not in the best condition, out here in the Caldera, but right now they're at least holding your weight. And they're kind of covered with this layer of snow up top.
Beautiful.
All right.
And then I've already used my bonus action, so never mind.
Okay. Yep. Then we get back to Bastion then.
These townsfolk that are currently restraining me and trying to rend me, is there enough of them sticking out the ground for me to try and blow their heads off?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so they can be dead. Okay, so the one that's restraining me, I'm going to just try and turn the pistol, put it in its mouth as it's trying to restrain me and pull the trigger at disadvantage.
Yep.
16 at disadvantage.
You hit?
For 15 piercing damage.
Okay. So, this is the way that this works. These are minions, so they only have 1 hit point. But they need to make a Constitution saving throw. What was the damage total?
15.
15. Okay. Okay. So you shoot the back of this one's skull kind of explodes with the shot that you just fired, and it falls disanimated, kind of halfway out of the ground, releasing you.
And then the one that's trying to tear my limbs off, I will turn to that one and do the same to it as well.
Okay.
That's a 17 to disadvantage for 17. Yeah, for 17 damage.
17 damage is also going to make sure that this one does not get back up. Same kind of
Okay.
story. It falls almost, like two halves of a banana peel. Both of them kind of fall away from you, leaving just you, the banana.
Cool. The best part, of course. How far away is Skelly Boy at the moment, Whitey?
He had moved a little bit towards you, about 30 feet, and he was... You had moved forward, right?
Yeah, I'd moved towards him until I was like 40 feet away, and then I moved another 10 feet, I imagine, towards buildings. So I'm not sure how close to the buildings I am now.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
So yeah,
I'll
he's
leave that
probably 15 feet away from you at this point.
there. Okay, and how close to the buildings am I?
We'll say the street was 15 feet wide, so about 15 as well.
Okay. So I'll spend half my movement to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
I've only got 30 feet at the moment. I'm going to run 15 feet to the nearest building. And on the way, I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Zephyr Strike, which is it will give me an extra 30 feet of movement speed. With that 30 feet of movement, would I be able to, again, climb up onto a building?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think you can, again, because this is magically aided, I imagine that, you're able to get to the side of the building and basically kind of climb up the posts that hold the porch up or something and kind of climb your way up there.
Yeah, cool. And then I'm going to do that. And as I get up onto the porch, I will again roll prone, ready to reload and take aim because I need to now reload my gun. But I'll do that on the next turn.
Okay, excellent. So Bastion has...
I might even be on the same roof as Hops.
Okay. Yeah, so Hops and Bastion are now, in the sky above everyone, and Santiago, you're next.
So I got two of these zomboids on me, and then is Samuel still within kind of that 30-foot range, or did he move? I didn't quite catch.
No, Samuel's restrained by two of these zomboids. He did not move.
Okay.
He just got an arm free and fired.
Perfect. Gotcha. So then what Santiago is going to do is he's going to do sorry, I'm still learning all this cleric stuff. I guess a turn undead would be the play here.
Certainly.
He's going to cast turn undead. And because he's level 5, there is destroy undead if they're CR half or lower. Let's see.
Maybe yours will work. Mine never does.
Yeah, because they're always above CR challenge rating of a half.
Yeah, if you had figured out how to use that earlier, maybe.
Okay. So if they're a CR half, they get toasted, powdered?
Yes. Otherwise, they need to make a wisdom saving throw DC 15. Or they'd have to use any means necessary to get away from me.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm hoping this kind of affects... Oh, and this affects any undead within 30 feet of me. So I'm hoping that
that's the question.
Takes into account the ones over at Samuel as well.
Okay. So I think you are still far enough away that it's not going to catch Whitey or the Necromancer. But that will certainly get the ones that are currently on Samuel, and probably even both of the ones that were kind of initially coming from Mavis, since she was beside all of you whenever before she turned invisible and moved away.
Yeah.
So 4 of them, you can describe what it looks like as the power of loose undoes these creatures, all 4 of them?
Yeah, so if you've ever seen, I picture it kind of like if you've ever seen like in a sci-fi film when like a reactor goes off, there's that big wave of energy that kind of explodes out of it. That's what I kind of feel, but it's just like you hear like holy trumpets and bells and almost like an orchestra of angels as this symphony erupts from Santiago.
Fantastic. So that sounds, almost maybe like the bells of a church or something, kind of ringing out afterwards.
Yeah.
That kind of long, resonant,
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Yes.
ringing noise. And yeah, these 4 creatures just, shatter or what have you, and just, they're
dust.
just undone. Yeah, turn to dust
Mm-hmm.
right before your eyes.
And
Excellent. Go ahead.
this whole with this other spell, there's kind of that mix of that naturey feel to it. This is just holy energy that just emits from him. Nothing nature about it. It's pure loot. And then as a bonus action, we're going to cast Spiritual Weapon, if I can.
Yeah, as long as you still got the action economy to do so. More than
Yeah, because that's my action. Then this would be my bonus action. So Spiritual Weapon.
What does it look like?
I'm picturing like a hatchet, like a tomahawk kind of thing. That is maybe a little bigger than normal, but that is just kind of like swirling around and kind of moving around in such a way. So I can cast it on this turn, but I can't move it around or anything. But it's here.
No, you can attack with it on your turn.
Oh, wonderful!
I think you can summon it up to a certain distance away, so you could basically just make it appear right next to a target. You can then move it.
Yeah,
I think, in future turns with a bonus action.
Okay, so anyone within 60 feet of me?
Yeah, the skeletal
that would be
Whitey.
Yeah,
is
so
definitely within 60.
Yeah, so this hatchet is just going to appear probably out of that burst of holy energy. A hatchet kind of manifests itself and just like goes to crack Whitey in the head.
Okay.
If it can. Does it use my attack?
I think it's your spell attack bonus, so it should be your
Yeah,
proficiency
okay.
plus your wisdom as a cleric.
Sweet. Oof. That is that's a 13. So.
A 13 is going to miss. It comes down and kind of clips the brim of his hat, kind of searing it open with radiant energy, but it totally misses him.
And then I'd like to move for my move action. I'd like to move up closer to Samuel and see if I can help him out.
Okay.
By being around. So that's it.
All right. So Santiago has moved over beside Samuel. All right. It is Whitey's turn. Let's see here. All right. No longer having Mavis to target. Nobody else has hit him recently. So, he's going to turn his attentions to Santiago, since you just kind of tried to attack him with this weapon. He's going to fire both Soul Sipper and Damnation at you. Soul Sipper is the first. What is your AC again?
It is 16.
16. Okay, so he's going to hit with Soul Ripper. Initially, you are going to take
What armor do you have,
piercing.
Nate?
Scale.
Do you not have a shield?
I do have a shield, yes.
Doesn't have any decks.
Yeah, I don't have any deck.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, Soul Sipper lands a strike on you. You're going to take 14 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
You have your D4 to that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as long as you keep concentration first.
Right. So do you want me? Would you like me to make my Constitution check or my concentration check first? Or
Do your
my
save
saving
first.
throw or my check? Okay.
Yeah,
my
do
save.
the saving throw for this other thing first.
So I mean that's a 4.
4. Okay.
Yep.
So that the hit points that you just lost, those come off of your maximum until you take a long rest.
Okay.
That is, your maximum has been reduced by that many points.
Yeah, we'll be taking a long rest during this.
As you feel this bullet kind of pass through you, you feel it separate a portion of your soul and take it out the back, exit wound with it.
Mm. Yeah,
Second.
he squawks.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
He squawks loudly. No, I was going to say he squawks loudly as the bullet rips through him.
He then follows up, but with a shot from Damnation. What was your AC again? 15?
16.
16. And that is what he hit. So Damnation is also going to hit you. I also need a Wisdom saving throw, please. Oh, we need to go back.
Oh, okay, I could do that. No. It's a 1, but I have a 7 for my save, so like 8.
That's an impressive bonus. Unfortunately,
it's a strong 8.
It is a strong 8. Unfortunately, that's not going to be enough to pass. You are now also under the effects of a Bane spell. So it's going to wash.
So that's
with
minus
your
a
bless.
D4.
Yeah. Well, I guess not really a minus. You'll just have to roll 2 and work out which is which before you roll it.
Well, I failed my Constitution save anyway, so my concentration. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay, so both of these, these
whoever,
shots.
Whoever has a.
Yeah. Both of these shots kind of tear into you and just leave your head reeling. You definitely are not feeling great after he's lit into you this way. Okay.
How much damage did I take from that second one?
6, I believe it was.
Okay. Gotcha.
And that does not come off of your maximum, just as a clarification.
All right.
So, okay. Immediately following Whitey, it is the Undertaker's turn. Yeah. He pulls up that fiddle, still kind of beneath his chin, and begins drawing the bow in a different tune as he changes the tempo. He's stomping his booted foot, the spur kind of jingling along, almost like a tambourine, as he plays quicker and quicker on this fiddle. He is doing an ability called Bury. Everyone within 40 feet of him. So I think that is Santiago, Sebastian, and Hop, I think, as he kind of walks towards the building where you are. I think
Does
Samuel...
On the building.
Does it include Mavis as well, or is it just people you can see?
Sell out.
Yeah, I think... Oh, that's true. Mavis did move in the same direction as you. So, yeah, it would include... So it's basically everybody except for Samuel at the moment. I think Samuel is still on the other side of the street.
Did Santi move close to Samuel earlier?
That's
But he said he moved
He did.
over
he
near
did say
me.
that.
Yeah, I did move to Samuel.
Okay. So, in that case, it is Hops, Mavis, and Sebastian who are caught within this. This is called Barry. I need all of you, please, to roll wisdom saving throws.
16.
3.
Okay. Okay. What'd you get, Derek? Oh,
A 7.
a 7. Okay. So it's a little strange for Hop. Let's see here. Okay. Hops and Mavis. All of a sudden, both of you hear that whispering noise again. I guess for Hops, this is the first time. However, this time it seems to be beneath you. Looking down, you realize that a shallow grave has opened in the ground beneath your feet, and you trip and fall inside of it. Both of you are now prone, restrained, blind, and you cannot breathe. You are buried
Thanks,
beneath
Derek.
the ground.
Pog. Hey, if I'm going down, I gotta bring somebody with me.
Derek just killed Mavis.
Thanks, dude.
What do I see from my point? Because obviously I know Hops is there behind me. Do I see him get buried, or is it a sort of more of a psychological effect?
Yeah. So the first thing that you realize is that this Undertaker is just
Oh, it's delicious.
he's cackling as he's playing his fiddle. For Hops, looking up kind of
tasty.
looking up onto the roof, you can see that he's buried under like what looks like wood that has like rotted to the point where it's basically mulch, and it's covering over enough of him that you can barely see any of him at all. The only reason that you can probably tell where he is because there's this like almost perfect rectangle of the wood of this roof that has changed into this kind of mulch. His ears. He pops up. I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. Out in the street, I don't know that anybody realizes that Mavis was just buried because she's invisible. You might see like the earth kind of churn in an area and like again become this kind of freshly dug mixture of dirt and snow. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Or not see because she's invisible.
Or not see, as the case may be. All right. As a bonus action, he turns that laughter into an inspirational, motivational barb kind of thrown at Whitey.
Now you quit messing around and find that girl.
He is giving inspiration to Whitey. All right. Mavis, it's your turn. You
What
have been
can I
buried
do
alive.
Yeah, what can I do to get out of here?
So you can take an action to attempt to break yourself out. Doing so, you're going to have to roll a strength check.
And I can't do acrobatics, I don't suppose.
Not for
You're not
this.
grappled.
No.
Great, with my negative strength. Let's see.
Me too.
You could literally be here and nobody knows you're here for the rest of her
We're
life.
so fucked. We're so
That's a
fucked.
horrifying.
Yeah, I
thought.
was like, oh, I got a cool idea, and then that happened. I'm like, well,
Unless you have some kind of like teleportation magic that you can cast without
Seeing.
somatic components.
I mean, I could try to. It's as a bonus action. Can I try to There is a teleportation option on the Tales from Beyond. Can I try to get that?
What is it now on Tales from Beyond?
Yeah, that's what yeah, it's my bardic thing. That's what I used last time when I turned invisible.
Okay. Yeah, is it a spell that you have?
Well, it's not a spell, it's a feature. It's a bonus action.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, what is it?
That means I just roll a d8 and I get an option based off of what that is, based off what the roll is.
Oh,
and number
interesting.
six is, no, which one is it that's transferred? Number 4 is Tales of the Runaway. The target can immediately use its reaction to teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space.
Okay.
It can see. There's no way that's going to work.
Oh, damn.
You teleport
You
yourself.
just flip around in the coffin.
Can I use my mage hand to try to like help myself out a little bit to get maybe advantage on that?
You don't have Mage Hand currently up, so
Yeah,
can
I'd
you
have
cast
to
that
call
without
it.
somatic?
No, it's somatic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. 'Cause,
All right.
You're like in dirt, like all around you.
All right. I'll just straight roll.
All right, you got this. I have confidence.
Ooh, 15.
15 is the number that we're looking for. So you like managed to basically just uncover enough of yourself to like be able to take a big sharp inhale of breath as you get it away from your mouth and your nostrils, and just as you manage to kind of catch your breath, you're able to kind of pull enough of the dirt off of you to be able to climb free. So that takes your action to do so. You can still do something with a movement or a bonus action. And you are still invisible as well.
Dang, I don't have any bonus action spells, of course. I will go ahead and use my Tales from the Beyond again to at least, as a bonus action, see if I can help these guys out a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, that's another 8. Do I turn invisible again?
We have literally just seen the evil wizard bard use bardic inspiration, and our bard cannot.
You know what? I will go ahead and, as I blip into existence, is Bastion within 30 feet of me?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'll help you out. I'll throw that. Bastion, you feel some ghostly evil magic come over you, but it's not quite as evil as the Undertaker. It's unfamiliar to you, and you hear the whispers of someone whispering a story to you, and you feel like if you draw on that power, then you'll be able to turn invisible. And Mavis has blipped back into existence, and she will just pull out her fiddle, not to particularly do anything, but get into like a position like to challenge the Undertaker when he notices her.
Okay. As you reappear, eventually, not long enough, but eventually, those red coal eyes do seek you out and find you. And you see that wicked grin that curls up under his decaying lips. Okay, that was Mavis. All right, the barely buried. There was a gaggle of them around Sebastian and Samuel that were all dealt with.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I think the only ones left were the ones that were around me before I jumped up on the roof.
Okay. So the two of them are going to come back out of that alleyway, kind of trying to get back towards Samuel. However, they don't move very quickly, so they're not quite going to get there. But you can definitely see these two individuals kind of shambling from between these two buildings towards you. And it is Samuel's turn.
Is this necromancer within 40 feet of me? I'm kind of in the
No.
same spot I started at, so I don't know where he was at.
No, he's not, because you were excluded from his the effects of his fiddle, and that's the range of it. So
Okay. I have 30 feet of movement. Can I get within 40 feet?
yes, absolutely.
Okay. I will kind of move up towards him and square up with him. Kind of, blowing the smoke off the revolver here and just getting ready to hopefully decimate this guy. As I step away from Santiago, I look his direction. Seems like a grave situation. And I'll take a couple shots at the necromancer.
You know I like it when you're funny. I might bring you back.
I might have to pass on that. That is a 19 to hit.
Definitely will hit.
Ooh, that's 11 damage for that one.
Okay.
Ooh, second shot is only 11 to hit.
That will miss.
Okay. Seeing that his second shot just kind of goes wide, he's gonna reach up and spin the chain, that thing that's on a revolver that I can't think of the name of all of a sudden.
The chamber.
Yeah, the chamber. And he's gonna catch it where the next bullet would be and use his action surge and fire 2 more times.
Real quick, before you do that, as a reaction to the first shot that you hit him with, he reaches up a finger from his bow-holding hand and kind of plucks one of the strings on his on his fiddle, and as he does so, he casts Hellish Rebuke at you. You need to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Which one did this?
The Undertaker.
The one with the fiddle.
The fiddly one.
There's 2 people with a fiddle on the field right now.
Yes. And one of them is not Jeremy.
It's true.
That is a natural 20.
Good deal. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see here. You're going to take half of 17, so that's going to be 8 points of fire damage to you. As you feel this burst of heat kind of roll out away from his fiddle and kind of wash over you. So now you may take your action surge, please.
All right. I will take my other 2 attacks, and I will add the right modifiers this time because I should have a +2 to those. It's 19 to hit on that one.
A 19 will hit.
It's 19.
19.
Now you get to do
Or
damage.
9 damage.
Excellent. It's 9 more points.
It's a nice job, Snathan.
Oh my god, that's a snap 20.
No snit. All right.
No snucking way.
What have I done?
You guys are so lame.
You're playing Dungeons and Dragons, Nate. I hate to break
No,
it
we're
to
playing
you.
Snudgeons and Snacks.
Snudgeons and Dragons. Perfection.
I hate that I love you all.
With the dude wearing a cowboy hat.
Kevin's just sitting there like, you fucking wankers.
The most
Y'all are fucking wankers.
All right.
Dude.
Where were we? I have no idea
The
what
nat
we were
20.
doing. The nat.
I just
20.
rolled a
Natty,
snap 20.
Big old critties. All right.
Hey.
So the way that we do criticals is you do your max damage plus all your modifiers, and then you roll your damage dice and add your modifiers a second time.
Okay, that's a lot of math.
That's
That's going to be
That's more than me.
Big,
That's more
big
than what I do.
16 base damage. That should be max, I believe. 2d6 is 12.
Mm-hmm.
3 dex is 15, and then plus 1 for the pistol is 16. And then roll again.
Yep.
Would you believe that that's 2 1s?
I would.
Well, you just
So-
had 2 20s in almost a row.
Fate, she
Two
must
more on
balance
the
the
dice.
scales, sir.
No kidding.
The dice gods giveth and they taketh away.
Did you say you add your modifiers again?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So 22 damage on that hit.
22 damage. All right. He is still up and kicking. He's not very pleased with you at all. Very disappointed in you.
Sam's just like grinning ear to ear at him, reaches up and like flicks his cowboy hat backwards a little bit.
He scowls in your direction with those red coal eyes. All right. That was Samuel. We're at the bottom of the round. Back to the top. Hops.
I am buried underneath the wood, you said, correct?
Yeah. Yep, you're buried.
How thick is the wood?
It's
Like how much
You know,
wood?
maybe as much as a woodchuck could chuck. No, it's about probably a foot,
Okay.
6 inches, something like
What-
that.
When I saw Sebastian, or would I have seen Sebastian climb up the roof before I got buried?
Yeah, I think so.
Climb up the roof. Okay, so I'm gonna just point in his direction and use message. It goes through 3 feet of wood, and I am going to just yell out in a message form, "Help! I'm kind of trapped. I can't get out. Help! Help!" And that'll be my action because I can't. There's no way I'm breaking out of this.
Okay.
Not with that attitude, man.
What is message again? The action for
I just-
casting it?
Yeah, it's just. Oh shit! It's semantic, so I can't do that. Ah shit. I guess I'll attempt to break out.
Okay.
That's a 7.
Okay. No dice. You instinctively kind of begin to try to gesticulate in order to form this message spell, but you realize that even your hands are trapped beneath this dirt, adding to that kind of that suffocating, oppressive feeling that you may be stuck in here. Okay. So we are moving on to Bastion.
Sebastian, seeing the mulch, not knowing what's happening, then feeling this creepy feeling settle on me, and maybe even seeing a spirit of some sort without even knowing what's happening. I accept the gift that was given to me by Mavis, and I believe I turn invisible until I do an action. And while invisible, I'm just going to kind of roll over a few times on my side, aim at I'm going to aim at Whitey, and I'm going to shoot Whitey with advantage because I'm now invisible, I believe. Oh, sorry. I bonus action reload first. Sorry, Jeremy.
Okay.
And then I'm going to shoot at Whitey with a pistol.
I will say that once you use an attack, then you lose invisibility.
Yeah, that's fine.
Unless it's greater invisibility, which Strahd knows.
That's a 29. I roll a 19 on that. I didn't quite do a Nathan on it.
I mean, it's really close, but you hit him.
Yeah. And that is 10 damage.
And your attacks are magical, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. 10 damage.
Yep.
He's still up.
Yeah.
Still
And
kicking.
then I'll come up
Ooh.
onto one knee and I'm gonna aim, and the sort of wind energy that was sort of whipping around me from Zephyr Strike is going to give me the advantage on the attack, and this will end Zephyr Strike, but I will gain a D8 from it if it hits, as well as advantage. So I'll get advantage again on this one.
Okay, cool.
Good
Nice.
job. I rolled a natural one, but I got a 20 with advantage, thankfully,
Okay,
and that's
that'll hit.
18. And that's 18 damage. 8 of that is force damage.
And also you
18.
get, I believe you also get one of my bardic inspiration die against this is a necrotic attack.
Okay, is that a D6?
D8.
A D8. Okay, so
And
this is D8 necrotic.
Yeah, and it's frightened of you until the end of its next turn.
Yeah, that would have
This
been on
was
the first
also
one.
against Whitey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so describe to me what it looks like, Sebastian, as you kill, perhaps even for the second time, Whitey, the man who once was known as Creed Belmont.
Yeah, I think the first one I've rolled over sideways and I've taken the shot, bam, and it's like hit him in the pelvis, and it sort of shattered his pelvis in half. And he's sort of collapsing to the ground. And as I've come up on one knee, and he's off balance, and he's falling, everything slows down, and he just breathes in. And then on the exhale, he just, bam, shoots, and it shatters his skull.
Yep, and he goes, half between steps, as he has both Soul Sipper and Damnation still drawn. He just stops and falls over, and his bones hit and would have scattered had they not been held together kind of loosely by the threadbare clothes that he wears. He is no more. That was Bastion. Santiago, it is your turn.
Jeremy, one more question. Sorry, how far away is the Undertaker now?
You're still on the rooftop?
Yeah.
So he's within 40.
Okay, that's fine.
You moved
that's fine.
over a couple of feet though, so probably like 35.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me. That's fine. I'll stay where I am. I'll make sure I'm prone again, ready to take aim.
Okay, roger that. All right, Santiago, you're up.
How's the Undertaker looking? Like he's not happy. I know that.
No, he's definitely messed up. Like I said, there's a lot of holes. There's pieces of him that are kind of hanging off of him, but he's still moving around.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna take my spiritual weapon and move it over. What's the distance in spiritual?
I think you can move 30.
I think it's 20.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 20
feet.
Oh, it might be.
Yeah, it's 20 feet. Too far?
No, it's good. We're running on time, so let's
Sweet, yeah. So the spiritual weapon's gonna backtrack and go towards the Undertaker here and take a swipe at him. So that is 17 on the die plus 7.
Yeah, you're already sitting pretty. So you hit.
Sweet. So
can your spiritual weapon take damage?
I
don't think it can, but
no, spiritual weapons
no.
Okay.
It cannot.
All right. Please continue.
So then it is 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier. Oh, so that's where do I find my spellcasting modifier? Is that just my spell attack?
Wisdom and proficiency.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. So that's 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 to hit, or 15 damage.
Okay. What kind of damage is
So
it?
that's
It's magical of some
it
kind?
is yes, it's force damage.
Okay. 15 points.
Yes. And then
Okay.
Santiago starts walking up as this is happening, and he stretches out his arms, and another bell sound emits from him as he casts Toll the Dead. And I
What does
need
that do?
so you point at one creature you can see within range, and the sound of a dolorous bell fills the air around it for a moment. The target must succeed a wisdom saving throw or take 2d8 necrotic damage, or if the target is missing any health, it instead takes 2d12.
Okay. Bro, I straight up thought you were going to say the sound of a DeLorean.
Me too.
Yes, so did I.
I was like, is this Back to the Future 3?
Yeah, DeLorean just like slams into it.
Doc Brown.
Yeah,
Great Scott!
That's his.
Excellent. So, all right. What is your DC?
My spell save DC is 15.
Okay, so he passed.
Oh. Yeah, I guess then nothing happens.
Okay, it's all or nothing.
Does not hear the sound of
Yeah,
a DeLorean.
it's all or nothing, man.
Fair. Fair.
Yep. So I guess then he's just going to be within kind of that 30 foot range of him. Kind of keep
Okay.
that kind of distance from him.
So you kind of summon this again, the sound of the mission bells, kind of striking, toning the sound of your magic, and as you kind of have that resonance that's kind of rippling out away from you, the Undertaker begins playing his fiddle even more intensely, and the sound of your bells never even reaches him. The wave is caught by the wave going out away from his fiddle and is washed over, and you very quickly hear that sound of your familiar church bells be warped and twisted into this dark, screeching fiddle music that he's playing. It is his turn. As he does this, he is going to play this fiddle until the strings begin to glow white hot. And as he does so, there is a streak of fire that leaps from the fiddle itself towards you, Santiago.
Oof. Come at me, bro.
Okay. I think a 24 is going to hit you.
Yeah, a little bit. Barely,
right.
but close.
As he does so, this fire streaks towards you and slams into you for 21 points of fire damage.
Oh.
How you looking?
Howie.
I am a cooked bird.
Hell yeah. Dinner.
Okay.
It is
Yeah,
fancy.
The fire hits Santiago, and you just see like he takes it straight on the chest, and he falls back and just like charred, laying in the snow.
So what did that take you down to?
Negative 12, I think.
So
In
yeah,
the
you should be
negatives.
okay. Yeah, because you
That's
had more
good.
more than 12 hit points whenever you started, right?
I had 13 hit.
Okay, so you just barely escaped dying outright.
Just barely.
Wow.
Whew.
Wait, you only had
Golly.
13 max?
That's,
No.
no, what? No, that's not what he was asking.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. How many hit points did you have to start with?
Oh,
Like total?
oh, max. Okay,
Yeah.
I had 30. 30.
Hey, what are you, level 2?
Fuck me. Yeah.
What?
Okay. I was like,
Are
what
you
happened?
Ragnar?
Is you
I
a
had
negative
35 max.
constitution? Okay. Yeah. So see, you're nowhere near dead.
Yeah, I had 35. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're just singed a little. I don't know what cooked buzzard
Yeah.
smells like, but now all of you do. And
Yeah.
he's kind of
I don't
laying
know
in
if
the
I do.
snow. Oh, that's true.
I
You
mean,
might
I'm
not.
on board.
You know what dirt smells like. So yeah, so you are at 0, and you're going to be making death saving throws. All right. He did the fiddle. He is going to walk closer to you, Mavis. He's going to close with you. And as he gets close enough to you, you feel his presence kind of envelop you. The armor that he wears is known by the name of Rigor Mortis. You're going to take 5 points of necrotic damage as he gets near you, and you feel this kind of cold wash over you. In addition to that, you also take 2 points of dexterity damage.
Despite all this, she's just like glaring at him as she's preparing her fiddle.
Yeah,
All
he
right,
definitely-
we can have a fiddle off. What is this? Literally,
He
the
definitely
level
has
of
that-
Georgia?
that same look that you had the last time that you stood toe to toe with him. Your fiddle's drawn. That kind of smile that turns the corner of his rotten mouth upwards. Avis, it's your turn.
One question: is his fiddle made of gold?
Is it?
Up close, it's made of like hell stuff. So his fiddle is actually called Hellfire.
Made of
It's
hell
made out of
stuff.
Hell stuff. Yep.
Okay.
It's called
Santiago,
Hellfire, and yeah, it's all made out of shadow and brimstone and ash and embers and fire, all that good stuff.
I doubt it. Could I possibly throw a potion at Santiago as a bonus action and try to get it in his mouth?
You have to be
No.
damn good.
It's just
no, I
It's like
don't-
you
I think
hit
that
him in
might
the
be-
head, it just shatters on him, it cuts him into pieces.
just digs me in the head.
He's not a pelican, Ray.
like it's a fucking carnival game. Like
Yeah.
you won the stuffed vulture. No, I don't think he'd be able to do all of that. You
I
could go
didn't-
over
Yeah,
to
that-
him if you wanted to and administer it, but
Mm,
That's a hard no.
yeah, that's a hard no. Is anyone else around at the moment?
there's a couple people
Is
that are
Sam-
close.
Is
Above
Sam nearby?
He's across the street from you, I think.
Okay. Could I throw him the potion and have him catch it without breaking it?
Possibly. Thrown weapons are typically 20-60, and he's 30 away from you across the street.
Okay.
So you could toss it with disadvantage. And
Is that going to count as my action?
no, we'll count it as a bonus action.
Okay. What do we have to roll for
Quaffing
that?
potions in my campaigns are typically bonus actions, so this isn't that much different.
What do I have to roll?
Thrown weapons are
dex,
usually
I
strength.
Are they strength? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had
It's not
javelin,
finesse?
try and get it.
No.
Okay, and I'm rolling at disadvantage.
Yeah, because of the distance.
Ooh.
How about
That's going to be 8. And
Okay.
catch cow puncher, and I'll just like underhand throw it to him.
Okay. So with an 8, Sam, let's get a dexterity saving throw from you, but it's going to be at a -1 because this pitch was not the best. It made it to you potentially, but not the most on target thing. So
You said a dex save?
yeah.
So my die, my dex mod, and then -1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I was worried. That's a 4.
Oh no. All right. So there's this almost Three Stooges kind of moment as Mavis pitches this thing. It's just a little off. Samuel tries to kind of like reach back and grab it, and it's just completely on the wrong side of his body, and it flies past him, hits the ground, and shatters, spilling the contents all over the dirt and the snow.
Sam goes into his saloon performing stage and just shoots it out of the air.
Okay.
Pull! Pop!
Right. So that was a bonus. Mavis, did you
Was
have
a
an
bonus.
action that you wanted to do?
Yes. I'm going to draw my bow across the string and just start matching his pace playing fiddle, and I will cast Shatter as a 3rd level spell. And he has to
Ooh,
make
okay.
a DC 14 Constitution saving throw.
Con save 14. All right. He failed.
All right. That is 5, 4, 2, 5, and then plus 6. That is 22 points of thunder damage.
Mavis, what does it look like as you kill the Undertaker?
Yes.
She kind of just like bows her head a little bit and glares at him, and she's just pulling her bow across her fiddle as quickly as she can, and thunder is just erupting out of it. And as it rattles him, for the first time ever, you guys see her smirk and says, "That's what fiddling looks like." And she does one epic string across it and gives a bow.
And he kind of looks confused, and as this energy kind of washes over him, you watch as the glaring redness of his eyes kind of fades the way a fire does as it dies, and they grow dark, and he flies backwards into the building behind him, shattering the glass, and he is no more. All right, that is where we are going to end our game. So, I apologize
Do
for
I
running
die
over.
under the rubble?
My bad. No, they could get to you before that happens, unless they're not going to. In which case, maybe.
Yeah.
Does Hop suffocate?
Hops is in the shadow realm now.
Yeah, sorry for keeping you over. This was a ton of fun. Thank you very, very
Yeah.
much for giving me the
Kick-ass
opportunity to
game.
run this. Yeah, if anybody has anything closing that they want to say, go for it, and then we're going to put a bow on it.
Jeremy,
we need
thank
an
you.
actual DM game, a full campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. And yes, I would absolutely love to play in this again, whether it's one shot campaign, whatever. I had a ton of fun. I have never gotten to play a fantasy western, and I've always wanted to. And this definitely scratched that itch.
I still
For
do.
sure, yeah. Well, you win some, you lose some, Derek.
Derek, you just played the same character you play in every one of Nate's games. You just go off in the woods by yourself and hang out, collect magic items.
I have no ideas every single time. Phase 1 goes perfect. Phase 2, I get grappled or trapped in something.
Maybe that's an issue with your phase 2.
Maybe.
You said you feel like Ragnar, and so now you really do know how I feel when you disable me every turn of every game and then kill me.
So what we're saying is this is your fault, Derek.
Yeah, don't. We're not feeling bad for you.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm not asking to feel bad.
No, kick-ass game, Jeremy. Seriously, that was awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And again, like I said in the chat, it's a case of the storytelling is so good. It's a really story-driven game that you run, and I think that's what resonates with myself, and I know with these guys as well. It's not about the glitz or the glamour, or how fancy anything is. It's about the story and the storytelling from you and the players, and that's what's made the game so well. And the chemistry between us is obviously pretty good, and we can banter backwards and forwards in character, but have those moments of levity of weight and stuff like that. So, yeah, thank you very much again. Pleasure to always be in your games.
Hey, hops is $6
Thank you.
richer.
That's right.
That's what really matters.
And you're taking that to the grave.
Bastian will come over and use his machete to start digging you out.
I
And pull-
Get
guess.
him.
Oops, it looks like we're having rabbit steak now.
I guess I'll go heal Santiago. I guess.
I suppose.
Your benevolence is overwhelming, honestly. No. Yeah, this was
Awesome.
Caldera is just a really fun setting to get the chance to explore. So I'm more than happy to have had the opportunity to kind of dust it off and run it for y'all. So, like I said, thank you for agreeing to be a part of it and for bringing really flavorful, well thought out characters that were easy to work with and kind of build a story around. So it's a lot of fun. And I like that exercise of kind of trying to tie what's going on to the stuff that everybody provides me with as players. So thank you for bringing that kind of stuff to the table. Yeah, Nate, is there anything that you want to say? Nathan, since it's your channel.
Just if we're done, I'll see you guys in another dimension. I can't wait to play some more. I'm going over to Jarl's game to play my bard, which I do give people bardic inspiration, Ray.
What's that?
And see what kind of trouble we get into this time. Yeah, hopefully I'll get better and not be sick soon, and I can do some more Pokemon chat versus streamer, because I got a lot of work to do to finish the game. And hopefully we'll actually get to play Curse of Strahd soon and finish.
Derek.
I'm looking forward to that. Well, again, thank you, Jarl, for loaning us Nathan for an extra half an hour. I'm sorry that we made him late, but don't treat him too harshly. Well, maybe you can. It's up to you.
No.
All right.
My first game was with Jarl was crawling out of sphincters in hell. I don't know if it can get much worse.
What I think Jarl has to do is cast silence on Nathan's character, so then he can feel as useless as Derek's character.
Listen, you crawled out of one. What if you had to crawl into one?
Mm-hmm.
We had to get into the sphincter tunnel to escape the jail cells that we were in. So I got both in one session.
You got the innie and the outie.
Yes.
And on that sour note, I think we're going to end things. So, yeah, thank you. This has been a blast. Again, if you like this kind of content, go check out my channel on YouTube called the Erasmus Expeditions. It is very appreciated. And, yeah, until next time. Oh, by the way, kindness is a free action. It literally costs you nothing. So, please, the world needs more of it. And until next time, may your dice roll high and your snacks always be within reach.
And that's aimed at you.